Minus 10, 9, 8.
The clock is operating. We're underway.
Tranquility Base here. Endeavor, go at throttle.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to USCSA 2025 National Championships here at Mount Bachelor, Oregon. I'm Trent Rosenberg, also known as Slider, joined here by Luke Dukowski. We're pleased to bring you live coverage of our Nordic Freestyle 7.5K, both men's and women's. Luke, how you feeling today?
I'm excited to see how the athletes do today, Slider. I think it's going to be a fast day. I think it's going to be a technical day. And based on a lot of graduations that we've had between 2024 and this current day, I think that there's going to be a lot of room for some skiers to move up and shake up the top 10 standings.
Oh, excellent. Let's quickly do a sponsor read for you so that you know who the USCSA 2025 National Champions are brought to you by. Starting off, we have Toco.
And we've got Blackstrap.
Icon Pass, as always. Remember to get your Icon Pass so you can ski here.
Hydro Flask.
And finally, we'd like to thank Mount Bachelor again for hosting us this year, 2025. Lake Placid was 2024, but we're stoked to be here in Oregon, which is, out west, so we always switch off and on. But thank you again to all the staff we've seen. Great job by them so far. We're ready to get things kicked off here for you, USCSA National Championships. Luke, you got a chance to ski the course earlier. How you feeling about it?
Well, I think it's going to be certainly a working man's course. There's not a lot of opportunity to rest out there. We've got 3 2.5 kilometer laps, just over 200 feet of climbing per lap. So we're batting at about 750 feet of climbing total. First half is fast, it's quick, it's punchy. Those corners are slick, the uphills are short. You're going to have to carry your momentum, but I tell you what, Slider, I think the decisive part of the course is going to be right after the 1.5 kilometer mark. Things flatten out before the big climb to the finish. Skiers are going to have to resist the urge to ease off the gas and catch some rest through the meadow there. They need to stay hammered down and not get psyched out by the big final climb into the finish. If they let up in that meadow, they're going to be in big trouble when they come through the timing gate.
Well, excellent. Yeah, that was some deep insight. I'm so glad I have you this year. I've done this Nordic broadcast alone before, and I tell you, I'm just lost half the time. I know the techniques. I'll yell at a V2 sometimes, but other than that, it looks like we're going to have about 85 male starters today, and they will go first at about 10 o'clock. And then it looks like we also have 63 female riders. Is that correct? Or skiers, excuse me.
That sounds about right to me. Based on the bibs that we sorted last night, thank you to the Nilsson family as well as our many other volunteers. Sounds like that's about as many bibs as we handed out and carabinered into one another, so...
Now, in your expert opinion, do you think that number is going to change the course at all? I know that you got a chance to ski it earlier, but as it warms up, the sun is out, we are having a beautiful day here. Do you think that'll alter the course enough, or does it feel like it's going to stay firm and fast for these men and women?
Oh, no, the course is going to deteriorate. The corners are already getting a bit choppy. This snow is fast. The grooming has been excellent, so I think that the uphills and some of the flatter pitches are going to hold together really nicely, but these corners are already getting granulated. They're not going to get wet, which is a relief, so hopefully we won't have people getting stuck in the slush, but these corners are tight and they are a little bit squishy already, so skiers, if you haven't gone out there yet and you don't know what you're getting yourselves into, stay light on your feet.
I think most of them have been out at this point. I've seen a lot of activity early on. We've seen a lot of skiers going back and forth. We're happy to bring you live coverage of it online here, and we're also going to be giving you live race results courtesy of our timing today from Bob Underwood at Underdog Timing. We have the screen up here. I don't know how it works yet, Luke, so it's going to be an adventure for both of us. But as we get going, hopefully we will know what people are at their lap time, at their finish time, and we'll be able to give you live results of those things. Now, I did have a question for you. You mentioned that there are 3 smaller loops. I was under the impression it was 2 3.75 loops, but they have changed the course a bit. So explain the mentality going in when you have to run 3 loops. Do you have to back off on loop 1? Do you want to just push it right to the metal?
Nope, sorry, it is 2. It is 2 laps.
Oh, okay, so 2 3.75 laps.
Good
so
catch.
I had it right. Okay, look at me go. I read the coaches meeting. A+ points for Slider on this one. So anyway, we have 2 3.75K loops. So I always found in my very limited amount of racing experience that doing the loop courses was tougher. I liked going down and back because I would see my finish line and that would motivate me to want to finish. And as soon as I had to go by that, I'd be demotivated to keep going. So what do you think? You think these racers will have any problems, or a little bit tougher than I was out there?
No, I think there's going to be no problems today. I think that the strategy is going to be, and I think this is to quote Ben Ogden here, but go fast on the first lap and go faster on the second lap.
Ah, yes.
7.5K is a rather unique distance in that you're going barely slower than sprinting. There's really no pacing here. It's hammer down the entire time. Now, what'll be interesting to see is whether or not some of these skiers who get an early start are able to latch on to some fast men and women towards the middle of the pack. If we have bib 1 or bib 2 latching on to bib 30 or bib 40, there are still some fast skiers that are down in the 30s and 40s that could really be a great puller for people coming through on their second lap. So it'll be a little bit narrow out there, especially on the second to last pitch. They're going to have to be strategic about when they pass and how they pass. But if they can use the traffic to their advantage and catch a good pull, it could be a really make or break strategy for them.
All right, I was just given some information from the race director that he would like athletes to drop their warm-ups out away from the pen. You can see him. He has a bright orange hat on over by our finish. So if our athletes could please drop warm-ups over in the corner there, not into the start section, because, again, we are going to lap. Now, Luke, I wanted to ask you something. You kind of talked about it, but I wanted to bring it up for our people at home that may not understand. You were talking about racers in the back half being fast and latching onto them. What you're talking about is drafting, right? And getting behind somebody and using their pace to keep you going. Explain sort of the mentality behind that real quick.
Well, that's exactly right, Slider. The thing is with an interval start is that it's hard to tell exactly how quick you're going compared to the rest of the field. And so you really have to have a pretty well-calibrated internal metronome. Especially on a lap race here when you're getting tired in that second big climb on lap 2, it can be quite helpful to have somebody who you know can pull you, who's fresh on their first lap. You can take out the thinking, you can take out the calculation of your own pace and just lock in and match their speed. And that can really help you power through the final pitches. It is a bit of a big climb. We've got something on the order of about 100 feet of climbing from the midway point to the end of the race, and it's almost all uphill. A nice, mid-level pitch. This is certainly a V2 skier's course. Not a lot of opportunity for V1. So if we have someone who's powerful, fast, high tempo that can V2 that final climb out, they'll be in good shape. All
right, it looks like we're ready to kick off the race now. Bib 101, Anders Eriksson is in the start.
Yeah, he's from Cornell University. There he goes. Nice, strong jump skate out of the start. He's a biological engineering major. I don't know exactly what that entails, but it sounds fascinating. And he's from Sleepy Hollow, home of the Headless Horseman. So hopefully Anders is able to keep a good head on his shoulders through those tight corners. And we'll see how he goes out there.
Yeah, and again, our live timing. So Anders Eriksson on course. Right behind him will be Ben Anderson, bib 102.
Yep, Ben's representing the University of Minnesota. Powerful V2 start. Good. Seems like he took that advice. Looks like his favorite USCSA memory was water skiing at Lake Placid last year. I'm assuming that's a reference to the conditions. Ben would also like to shout out his coach, Peter DeRuyter. Peter DeRuyter, the coach at the University of Minnesota, who's really whipped this team into shape in the last couple of years.
Luke, I don't know if you noticed, but we've changed our questions from last year. So we've got some new stuff. I got a chance to go through it a little bit, but Charlie Price now on course, United States Military Academy.
Yep, a mechanical engineering major from Wallkill, New York. Home mountain is Shawangunk Mountains. Sounds interesting. Wonder what they do out there. Oh, and his warm-up song is Kickstart My Heart by Motley Crue. Charlie, that's a great choice. Hopefully you'll get to hear that later in the day.
Yeah, so I have some bad news for Charlie, actually, on that. We are now on YouTube streaming, and we have Bib 104, Diego Lobatas, going out. Great start for him as well, but we are on YouTube streaming now, and they are much stricter on their music code. So I have a playlist on Spotify that says copyright-free music, and we are going to run that every event because the internet has never lied to anybody, and it won't lie to me.
Well, I'm sure that Charlie knows what Kickstart My Heart sounds like,
Yeah.
and so even if he can't hear it now, I'm sure he can picture it. Coming up now from Western Colorado University, that's Graydon Walker. Graydon had some strong results earlier in the season in the 7.5 to 10K distance, so I think that he might be a skier to keep an eye on here for potentially a top 10 finish.
Yeah, we actually, like you said, we had a lot of 2024 graduates that were in the top 10 leave. And so there is openings for people to jump up and get in that top 10, get themselves a nice medal here at the USCSA and help their team for the team scores, which is always an important factor as well.
Yeah, and actually in the men's individual overall, we only have 5 returning skiers from the top 10. And here's a new face as well for the USCSA, Henry Fisher. He's the only skier representing the University of St. Thomas this week, but Henry had some breakout results this year. I believe he was the sprint winner for Midwest Regionals, and I think he was also the men's winner for the Vasaloppet 48K skate in the USCSA field. So a little bit of a longer distance, but we know he's got the power and we know he's got the speed, so we'll see if he can deliver it on that mid-distance today.
Yeah, it looks like Bib 107 now. Ian Klein from the United States Air Force Academy has taken off. Thank you for your service, Ian.
Yeah, his favorite USCSA memory is finishing his first alley loop race. You know, I'd love to make it out there at some point. I've heard it's a lot of fun going through the town. Once again, a bit of a longer distance race, so we'll see how he does on the 7.5K here. And he's a Minnesota native from Bloomington. What do you know about that?
Looks like Bib 108 now, Ivor Skarseth in the start and now has taken off, and now a strong V2 for him as well. His final year here as a senior from Colorado Mesa University. Yes, and Mr. Skarseth was 4th overall in last year's USCSA National Championships. He's had a phenomenal season racing in the Rocky Mountain Conference so far. So I would keep an eye on Ivor, not just for a top 10, but potentially, I think he's got a podium, and honestly, it's his to lose. We'll see how he can chase it down. And he had a really strong race last year, a 2nd in the 7.5K. And there goes a young gun. That's James Keyes from the University of Wisconsin-Madison, 2nd in the 29-kilometer Quarterloppet in Hayward, Wisconsin. That's a big achievement for him. Once again, longer distance race. We'll have to see how it translates, but he's been having a great season on the Midwest circuit. So coming up here is Jude Bakia from McGill University, one of our Canadian friends. Yeah, Jude off to a hot start, little jump skate out of it, and then right into the V2. You talked about this being a V2 skier's course. Can you describe that a little bit more in depth for us? Yeah, so that's one pole for every ski. It's fast, it's powerful, it's also one of the more taxing techniques. It's great for middle pitches or cresting over the top of a bigger hill. After doing the course preview, I'm going to tell you, I really think there's only one hill that requires a V1. Everything else is, in theory, V2able, and the kids who are able to do it are the ones who are really going to shine today. Yeah, we just saw Lance Hastings, bib 111 from St. Olaf College, not St. Olaf's as I've called it in the past, but I've learned from my mistakes. There were two King Olafs, but only one of them is a Saint. Yes, so St. Olaf College, Lance Hastings, bib 111, and now you're seeing bib 112, Liam Urbinowitz. I went over these. I'm going to do it better on the names, everybody. I promise you, I practiced. But bib 112, Liam Urbinowitz off from University of Minnesota Duluth. And he's one of a pair of Urbinowitzes racing today. We'll see Liam in the men's race, and it's escaping my mind. But there's another Urbinowitz in the women's race. Well, we'll see her in a bit. But yeah, freshman at Duluth, molecular biology is his major. So got a lot of bio kids out there racing today. Yeah, it looks like next we have bib 113, Matthew Klarner from Clarkson University. I'm required by law as a St. Lawrence alum to tell you I do not like Clarkson, but I will support him here and hope that Matthew has a wonderful race.
And I really think he will, Slider. I mean, if anyone's been paying attention to the Eastern ski results, Matthew Klarner's a name that we've seen in the top 10 and the top 5 again and again this year. This is another skier that I would say might be looking at a podium. He's a freshman, so this will be his first nationals. Let's see how he delivers.
Yeah, and right behind him will be Max Mirande from University of Denver. DU in the house. Not a super far drive there for him, so hopefully he has a great race. Senior, though, for the University of Denver with media studies as his major. Maybe he could come join us in the booth and give us some insight on the course after.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Max, if you hear us, feel free to pop on in. But looks like he's also had a strong season. Says here that he won the 2024 Alley Loop. Once again, we've got some great long-distance skiers out there today in the 25 to 30-kilometer range. How's it going to translate to 7.5? We shall see.
Yep, and then right behind him, bib 115, Peter Manolis from Whitman College on your course now. Now, I had a question for you. I wanted to jump in there. We have 2 loops. How long are you expecting this 7.5K to take most of these men?
Well, let me tell you, I was out there wearing a sweater. And
You're wearing a sweater now, too, by the way.
I'm wearing the sweater now. Yep, I got all dialed up for you guys. I've even got the tie on. But it took me just over 13 minutes to preview the course.
Okay.
So I think that if we do 2 laps of that, these guys will be finishing realistically just over the 20-minute mark. Philip Matthews, another name to watch today. Philip Matthews could definitely be looking at a top 5 finish. He's had some really strong results in the USCSA so far. And Paul Smith, they've got quite a pedigree here at Nationals. So we'll see if Philip can bring home some hardware for whatever the mascot of Paul Smith's college is, presumably.
Paul Smith.
Yeah, Paul Smith.
It looks like bib 117, Ted Yee, has now gone on course, a senior from Northeastern University joining us here at USCSA 2025 National Championships. And right behind him will be bib 118, Tennyson Stinson from Colorado College.
Yeah, it looks like Tennyson is a sophomore, environmental science. My goodness, we need to get a little bit of variety in here. But favorite pump-up song is Watermelon Man, live by Pancho Sanchez. Fascinating.
I don't know if I've ever heard that song.
I think it's a jazz standard, so, maybe a little bit of saxophone to get the body and mind ready for racing.
Looks like we have bib 119, Tim Soisler. I hope I got that pretty close, Tim. I appreciate the name pronunciation. A freshman from University of Vermont joining us here as one of those guests from UVM. Obviously, they have a D1 team, but here at USCSA's every year.
And they always patch together a very solid performance. So it's wonderful that UVM comes out and competes with us. We're glad to have them every year. And boy, oh boy, do they have a reputation as well for bringing some energy to the course. I don't know if the gentleman that I'm thinking of is here this year, but you'd be surprised how much energy he can pack into about a 5-foot frame.
And then right behind him, we have bib 120, Anders Heckley out of Western Colorado University, a junior from Western Colorado.
And
major in business administration. So there you go. There's your change up.
Yeah, no, that's very refreshing. Thank you, Anders. And it looks like he's a hometown hero as well, skiing for Western Colorado. And it says that he born and raised in Gunnison. So hopefully that's true and you didn't lie to us on this form, Anders. Otherwise, you're going to make me sound like a fool.
Yeah. If for those of you at home that don't know, we get these athlete bios and we go through, put them in order and read them. And sometimes the athletes have a propensity to lie to us. But we always find the truth. Beck Labash on your screen, and then bib 104. So that was our second starter of the day.
It's Diego.
Our third starter, Labadas from
Diego
University of Wyoming.
Oh, and he's already come through. He's passed 3 skiers out there. He's followed by Ben Anderson in 102. So Diego making a strong start, already catching some rabbits. Here it is, Ben Bauer. Ben Bauer, a senior from the University of Minnesota Duluth, representing the Bulldogs at, I believe, his 3rd, perhaps 2nd national championships. Ben was 6th overall last year and 7th in the 7.5K freestyle. He's a powerful skier. We know that for a fact. We're going to see what he can do today. And he's going to be hunted down by another Midwesterner. That is Ben Martin very
the
fast.
Bends. They're going to go head-to-head with the Bends, 122 and 123 here.
And they've been going head-to-head all year. So we'll have to see which Bend prevails. But look at that jump skate out of the start. Ben Martin had a great result last year in the 12K freestyle at Mount Ashwaubenon. It was the first Badger win in many, many years. So we'll see if he can put together that performance again today. Coming through the lap zone, that looks like Henry Fisher wearing the purple of the University of St. Thomas.
Yep, and then in your start gate now, we have Daniel Gladkoff from St. Olaf College, a freshman and a biology major, so another science major for you.
Yeah, Daniel Gladkoff, if I recall correctly, had some great results in the Dala 34K skate. And also we know that, St. Olaf, a perennial regional champion in the Midwest, their men's team didn't quite have the final overall placement that we might have expected last year at Lake Placid, but their women's team certainly will be looking to defend their 18th overall national championship title.
Right behind him, Diego Shalasi from Paul Smith's college. I've seen Diego quite a few times now. I've done Nordic off and on, but I keep remembering Diego's name. He won the Nationals for Paul Smith's college in 2022.
Yes, that is the Paul Smith's college was the overall winner in 22, and last year in 24, I believe it was. Torrin's going to get mad at me if this isn't true, but I think it was Clarkson won last year overall. Does that sound right to you?
It does. I always joke with Torrin that the Clarkson isn't as good now that Jeff Lathrop has left. Our friend Jeff Lathrop that nobody else knows, but I have to put it into a broadcast every year. So there it is, Jeff. Clarkson hasn't been the same since he left his Alpine coach.
Just leaving the gate was Evan Hawk. He was maybe hoping to make a rendezvous there with bib 107, his teammate from Air Force. That name is escaping me at the moment. Oh, that would have been Ian Klein, so we'll see if those two Air Force boys can stick together, grab a pull off of each other. Here comes from Whitman College, bib 127, that's Jackson Garrison. A freshman from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Yeah. Undecided, so it's not too late to pick a biological major, Jackson. You'd be in good company out here. Ooh, a name to watch today. Not sure if he's got the mullet for this race, but he sure as heck has the mustache. That's Joey Ruhana, 128 from Clarkson University. He was 8th overall in last year's 7.5K freestyle, and he is one of our repeat overall top 10 finishers. He was 9th in the top 10, 9th in the overall standings last year, and his favorite weather is 20 degrees, sunny, and firm, but not icy. Well, Joe, you might be in luck because I think we're within about 10 degrees of that perfect day, so...
Yeah, and just to piggyback off that, it is almost a perfect day out here for the skiers. But that is bib 129, Caleb Simonson out of the University of Wyoming that is left now. I don't know what happened to Evan Hawk, but I don't think he started. I just wanted to make it clear. It's on my sheet here from my race results. Again, underdog timing. Thank you guys so much, but I don't have Evan Hawk leaving the start. So if he did, I apologize, Evan, but it's not here on my sheet.
Well, I enjoyed imagining him.
Yeah. But you were talking, and we have been talking about meeting up with someone on the lap. And if you're joining us live or if you're here in person, you're noticing these skiers come through for their second lap and immediately catch a starter. And that was what you were talking about earlier, jumping in, pulling with each other, and trying to will yourself into that second lap and go faster, right? Second lap has to be faster. We did see Nathan Taylor from University of Minnesota Twin Cities start, and then right behind him, bib 131, Nicholas Lamps.
Nicholas Lamps from Smyrna, Georgia. Nicholas, would love to hear someday how you got into Nordic skiing. Mechanical engineering, another engineer. What are you going to do? Nice strong start for Nicholas. Meanwhile, I believe we just had a bulldog come through, followed closely by bib 114. Who's that coming through?
Bib 114 is Max Morande from the University. It moved on me, but Max Morande, University of Denver. And again, we're getting some split times here, so I'll just read them out for you as bib 132 now starts. Again, that's Noah Branchflower, but I'll give you some split times. Ivor Scarseth from Colorado Mesa University came through in about 8 minutes and 40 seconds. He's leading the pack right now. Matthew Klarner from Clarkson was right behind him with an 8:43. So about 8.5, 8:40 for the fastest times so far from split one. So again, you said it, about 15, 20 minutes. We can expect these guys right at about the 16, 17-minute mark, it looks like. Again, starting there was
Ollie Belland?
yeah, I believe
Colorado
133,
College.
Ollie Belland.
Yep, a senior from Laramie, Wyoming. His favorite USCSA memory is competing in the alley-oop every year. Wow, lots of alley-oop
Yeah.
fans here. I'd love to make it out there
Yeah,
someday.
you talked about checking out, and all these kids wanting to go or telling me it's their favorite memory makes me want to go there. So I'll have to check that out as well. Bib 134 now, Tristan Trantow from Colorado State University.
And Tristan being a bit cagey about his pre-race ritual, stating that it's classified, but he's eager to note that a half-gallon of chocolate milk post-race is essential. Well, that's a lot of milk. All right, coming up behind him, Wesley Summers, starting this year, or Sumner, excuse me, starting in Colorado Mesa's yellow and maroon. Last year he was out racing for St. Olaf College. We'll see how Wes does against his former teammates, the Olies. He had a strong year last year racing for him, but now he'll be out there with Ever as a teammate, who I believe still has the fastest time as more skiers continue to come through on lap.
Yep, we're still looking at, is it Ever? Did I say it wrong? Ever?
Well, Mr. Scarseth, you
Yeah.
can come by the booth
Yeah,
and clarify
tell us which
anytime,
one it is.
but
I apologize.
I'm gonna go
if
with Ever.
Okay, we're going to go with Ever for now, but if we're wrong, we apologize. But yeah, 8:40.4 for Ever is our fastest time so far. And it looks like we just had another starter.
That's Zach Johnson from Cornell University, a native of Bogus Basin, Idaho. And representing the University of Wisconsin-Madison, we've got A.J. Hemmink in the pen, not in the pan, excuse me.
He can be both.
Yeah, no, it's, yeah, well, I suppose...
He's ready to fry up the course.
There you
Let's
go.
make a pun on it.
And look at that, nice strong start, so I'll say sure, that's frying up the course.
Again, I want to shout out our race timing right now, underdogtiming.com. Results page, live results. That's where I'm getting all of my info from. And we did have some updates. 126, 184 have not started. So Theo Hughbanks did not start, or will not start. We haven't gotten to him yet, but he will not start. And Evan Hawk did not start as well.
Well, in 138, representing the Cowboys, is Austin Quillinen. Austin shares with us that his competition superstition is not clipping his toenails for several days before a race. Not gonna lie, Austin, that's nasty. But
That's
thank
disgusting.
Thank you for being vulnerable with
Yeah.
us. This is a safe space.
I have to say, that also sounds not pleasant as well. Like, the ski boots are usually quite tight.
Yeah.
Nordic boots are, quite fitted to your foot, and that's like a terrible way to race. But again, like you said, thank you for being vulnerable and sharing the truth. Finnegan Payne Bib 139 just left for his start here at the 7.5K, and we do have a finisher coming in. I'm seeing it live. We may be able to get a video of it for
That's
you,
gonna
but
be
yes,
Diego,
Bib 104.
Diego Lobato from University of Wyoming. Nice boot throw across the line.
Wow.
And he's going to stay up on his feet. Wonderful.
Yes.
We'll see if we get some finish falls today.
Yeah.
Now we've got, who's that going out?
Bib
140,
140.
Gabriel Lloyd. Let's see if Ben Bauer coming through on his first lap can latch on to Gabriel Lloyd there.
And I can tell you, Diego Lobatos' time, a 17:51.6. So that second lap, like you said, go fast on the first lap, go faster on the second. And Diego Lobatos, who had, I think, the third fastest time at the split, really threw down to finish there. So huge race from Diego. Congratulations to him as he's our first finisher of the day. Maybe not the fastest time yet, got a lot of skiers left, but a great start to it.
We just saw Henry Brandt from the University of Minnesota Duluth go hard out of the gate. Another great mustache and mullet combo. We do love to see it. Henry Brandt, I believe, was the winner of the first race of the Midwest season. That's the 25-kilometer skiathlon at Mount Ashwaubenon. So have to do both here at the National Championships. We'll see if he can deliver both in two separate races. We know he can in one. And Jack Lackman. I know the Lackmans, a native of Rib Mountain, Wausau. I believe his sister, Lauren Lackman, used to ski for Colorado Mesa. Jack following in her footsteps. That's bib 142. He's a freshman. Let's see how he does out there. We know that his teammate, here comes Ivor into the finish.
Yeah, we had a bunch of finishers, actually, as you were going. But we had Graydon Walker from Western Colorado, Anders Eriksson, and then, like you said, here's Ivor coming through. So we had...
Oh, there's a big... There we go. All right, those of you playing at home who are big fans of the Diggins Collapse Index, start the clock now for Ivor. He's had a heck of a day out there on the course. He went down immediately after crossing the line. Going to rack up some points there for sure. Do we have that finishing time?
I do, but I believe there might be a small issue, but Ivor has a 17.26.5, which puts him in the lead, I believe. We have a... Bekla Bash right now has an 11, but I think we might have missed the lap there. So, yep, so I think it's all right. It happens. Bekla Bash got to go back out for the second lap, but yeah, Colorado Mesa's Ivor Skarseth with a 17.26.5 absolutely blazed up this course. We did have a few starters. We are on now 145. I know I apologize to them. We'll get them at the finish, I promise. But Lucas Daly of the University of Vermont is our bib 145 in the start. We have another finisher coming in. That's bib 106. Henry Fisher from University of St. Thomas. He will cross the line. Yeah, Henry Fisher with a 19:30 as his final time. Again, these fast and furious here at the 7.5K. We've got starters, we've got lappers, we've got finishers. We catch as many as we possibly can. We apologize if we miss anybody, but we promise we will get one face shot of them. Bib 128 now going out for his lap. That's Joey Ruhana, who you talked about having a wonderful mustache, and he does.
And Michael Pelletier from U.S. Air Force going through. He'll be followed by Tate Myers, another St. Olaf skier. Tate racked up some great results in 2023 to 24, especially at the USCSA Regional Championships. We know he's a fast skater. Didn't quite have the opportunity to do that short skating this season so far, so we'll see how he does now that he's on the 7.5K. And
if you're joining us live on the broadcast, you saw James Kai's bib 109 finish with an 18:45.8, and then we just watched Tate Myers drop, so 147, like you said. Another finisher for you, bib 107. We'll see how that comes in. That is Ian Klein from the United States Air Force.
It looks like James Kai's 109 is in. We've got Henry Fisher is up and moving again. Ivor Skarseth is up and moving, which you really do love to see. What are we looking at for standings right now, Slider?
Well, let's check it out. We've got Ivor Skarseth in the lead with a 17.26.5 currently. Right behind him, Diego Lobatis with a 17.51.
Wow, that's
and then
a
Graydon
25-second
Walker.
Gap for
yeah, big gap so far. But Graydon Walker with an 18.44. So we're still finding out what that top time looks like. But so far, so good. Ivor, though, throwing it down like you mentioned. A 20-second gap, about 30 seconds really, but huge race for him to start this USCSA off.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll be cheering for Graydon Walker to hang on to that top three because I think I called that at the start here. Those of you playing at home may remember. So I'd love to see him stay up there if for nothing but the opportunity to be vindicated.
I really hope that there are people at home taking bets on like what they think the top 10 are going to look like.
Oh, yeah.
That would be amazing. Right here, USCSA, we're betting on college kids. I'm not, saying gamble, but I just think it's a fun game to play at home. No money, no stakes.
No honor and glory. That's of course what they're out there racing for today. So if you really want to get into their headspace, ooh, big collapse at the finish. And that's how you know these athletes are giving their all, and I do mean that sincerely. This is what's difficult about a 7.5K race is you're just barely going slower than a sprint. There is really no pacing here. There's no strategy here. You've got to get out and hit it hard. Like we mentioned, it's a working course. There's one descent, but with the snow speed today, it's over before you know it. Front of the course is fast. It keeps you on your toes. It's whipping you through the corners. You have to stay alert. You have to conserve your momentum. Then it's that working through the meadow, and that's where you make up or lose time. If you get lazy in that meadow, you're going to be in big trouble. And then you've got that 100-foot, about kilometer-long climb up into the finish with two punchy uphills, one at the base and one at the very top. So really no opportunity to rest.
Yeah, we've seen a few finishers too. I want to quickly update here. We had a Philip Matthews from Paul Smith College moving to the top 3 with a 17:55. And then Matthew Corner from Clarkson University, bib 113 with an 18:01. So a shake-up there at the top 5, 3rd and 4th place for Philip and Matthew, respectively. We've also seen a bunch of starters go out. Read them really quickly, but we've seen Tyler Bargman from University of Minnesota, Tyler Hipkin, Adam Jansen, Austin Black, and Ethan Collis have all started. Bib 153 now, Finn Erickson. I got that one, I think. But he has also started. And again, we're seeing finishers, lappers. Our cameras are flipping back and forth as fast as they possibly can. We appreciate your patience on the live broadcast. And for those of you that are joining us in person, all the cheering and the support they're giving the athletes, I can hear it through my headset, through the booth. So we appreciate you all being out here. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. I'm seeing shirts off already. That means that the sun must be out, because if sun's out, guns out. Those are the rules.
Starting hard here is 154. That's Garrett Mowring. Garrett Mowring's favorite USCSA memory is screaming, "Do it for Dudley," because one of his teammates, had a dog named Dudley, and it was the team mascot. Garrett states that we will still be doing it for Dudley. So I do hope that we get the chance to see Dudley out on the course or perhaps near the timing booth this year. But in the meantime, we know Garrett and the Mesa kids will be doing it for Dudley. Ever continuing to hold on to first place as more finishers come in, so I'm sure Dudley will be pleased by that.
Yeah, we just saw bib 115 Peter Menelis from Whitman College come through, a 1958 for Peter, on the dot too, impressive work. And it looks like bib 156 Jack Gendro from University of Wyoming. I got that right, Jack, don't you worry. He's here to start his course. Again, 30-second interval, so the action never stops. We don't really get a break. We're going to talk fast and furious at you for the men's and then transition right into the women's. They are going to kick their race off at 11. So we may not leave the broadcast booth today, but that's okay. We love bringing you live action.
John Lackey, bib 157, looks like another mustachioed skier. His pump-up song is Omet la Patate, which he says is the Belgian national anthem. Fascinating. John Lackey doesn't sound particularly Belgian, but perhaps it's on his mother's side.
I wonder if he knows he's also a Major League Baseball pitcher and that he formerly played for the Angels and the Red Sox. I don't know if he knows that. He probably shouldn't be here at USCSA's anymore. But
well, he's got a heck of an arm, and we'll see if he's able to use it to drive the tempo today. Here's a name to watch, Pavo Rova from St. Olaf College. It's interesting to see Pavo back at this point in the standings. I'm not exactly sure how the seeding worked out for St. Olaf, but Pavo's a fast skater. We know that. We've seen him do exceptionally well. I believe he was top 3 overall and first for the USCSA at the Dala 34K Classic, which he says was fueled by blueberry soup. We all know that, the American Vassalopit eating blueberry soup. He had a great showing at regionals, and I believe he was second overall in the American Birkebeiner Classic. So Pavo Rova, if he's not laying down a fast time today, we know he will be a name to watch in the 15K Classic.
looks like Peter Marriott from United States Air Force Academy is now off on his race. That's bib 159. So we are now approaching about 25 racers to go at the 160 mark. So again, fast and furious for you. Let me quickly give you an update on the top 3 so far. We've got Ivor Scarseth in from Colorado Mesa, 726.5. Diego Labatis from University of Wyoming with a 1751. And finally, rounding out your top 3 is Philip Matthews from Paul Smith College with a 1755. So if you're going out for your race now, those are the times you need to crack if you want to make it into that top 3. I saw another couple finishers go down. Looks at that. Who just started? We had bib 160, Philip Cram. He may not have had a sheet. Sometimes they didn't have a sheet for me, but that's okay. Sam Meeker will be bib 161 right after him. So, oh, I'm so sorry, Sean Meeker. I apologize. I pronounced your name wrong. But Sean Meeker from Western Colorado. We got a little thrown off here. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I don't know how that happened. Yeah, I do believe we had some changes to the start order here on my end, so I apologize. We'll give you as much information as we can on our athletes. Looks like Evan Meyer will be with 168, but anyway, 162, Arnold Mihaila. I got that wrong every year, and I still might have gotten it wrong, Evan, and I apologize. You even gave me the pronunciation, and I looked at it, read it last night, and I still probably messed it up, but I do apologize. We did have some finishers come through. I just saw bib 125. Bib 125 is Diego Shalasi from Paul Smith, and he will slot himself in with an 8th overall so far at 18:43. And then right behind him, I see bib 123. We'll get his start time for that. Bib 163 now on your course.
That's Cole Long from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. He is currently the USCSA liaison, so not only a student athlete, but also one of the student volunteers who makes this league happen. He works closely with the regional league coordinators to get rosters in, get his skiers to the events, and keep things rolling smoothly. Unfortunately, Cole provided no other information about himself to us, so the rest will have to remain a mystery.
Or we can make it up. I do that sometimes.
Yes, a little bit of improv. Yes, and. Yes, and. Oh, and he's a former skier of Ted Farrell, our USCSA Vice President of Nordic. He's a Wisconsin native from Chippewa Valley, Wisconsin.
Yeah, and if you were watching live on our broadcast, you saw Crosby Harris, bib 164, head out on his race, and then Edison Byram go out for Paul Smith's College at 165. We may be able to pull the men's start list up again and see if there's some changes to it.
Bib 166 from Colorado Mesa. You can tell it's a bright sunny day. He's got the hat on backwards. Not going to keep his ears warm, I fear, and he's got a pair of sunglasses. Look at that, because he's got a bright future ahead of him, a bright race up ahead. Air Force coming through, looks like bib 146, and in the starting gate, it's another cowboy wearing an American Birkebeiner hat. So he must have done a fair amount of time back in Wisconsin at some point. That's bib 167. Any idea who that is?
That is Elliot Kramer.
I know we've got a sheet for him buried in here somewhere. See if we can learn any facts about Elliot Kramer.
Yeah, he started off, though. Nice strong V2 for him as well, and he'll be followed right behind by bib 168, Evan Meyer. Yeah. But anyway, we're having fast and furious action. Again, you're seeing lappers come through, finish times come through. But yeah, Evan Meyer in your start gate now. He'll be followed by bib 169, Fergus Kragenbring. And then you're seeing a finisher, bib 121. Let's see how he did with his race. I can quickly see if the top 4 has changed, and it has. So I now have Caleb Simonson from University of Wyoming as my 4th skier, and Anders Heckley from Western Colorado University slotting in 5th. So a shakeup in the top 5, and it is close. Look at these times. 17:51 was Diego Labatis. 17:55 was Philip Matthews. 17:56 was Caleb Simonson, and 17:58 was Andrew Heckley. So we are seeing some fast races. We're seeing some close races, as you expect at the national championships.
Yeah, that puts skiers 2 through 5 within about 7 seconds of one another. However, they are still 25 seconds off Iver Skarseth. No one so far has been able to put a dent in. Coming up here, bib 170 from the University of Minnesota, that's Finn Bleakmore, a kinesthesiology major. Fascinating. What do you think they learn?
About how the body moves. Actually, this is something up my alley. I don't know if you know this. I do a lot of, I have my own company, Training with Trent. Do a lot of personal training and strength and conditioning. So kinesiology, I'm there for that.
Well, Finn, if you're looking for a job after college, you know who to hit up.
Yeah, don't hit me up, Finn. I could barely support one.
Here comes Nate Heinzelman from Cornell University. That's bib 171. His competition superstition is, quote, granola bar, end quote. So I don't know if that's a food or, maybe he crumbles it up and puts it on his head. It would have been helpful to have a subject and a verb in that sentence, Nate, but we'll have to stick with just the noun.
I think it's perfect. Granola bar. Honestly, I think you should keep your race rituals pretty simple, and that one sounds as simple as possible. Looks like we have 172 in the gate now. That's Torsten Brickley from Clarkson University.
And Torsten's favorite USCSA memory is University of Vermont sausage feeds, which sounds like a fascinating way to do an aid station. It does sound a bit chewy, but definitely protein on the course is a necessity, I think, especially when we get into that 15K. So I guess my question is whether they're grilling the sausages on the side of the course or whether they're pre-cooked and you have to eat them sort of at room temperature. So any UVM skiers who might be able to elaborate on the sausage feed, we'd love to hear it. Another skier on the ground here in the finish trying to rack up some points on the collapse index. That's Wes Sumner. Definitely a skier to watch today. I'd be curious to see where he came in. Going out hard is his former St. Olaf teammate, Trey Bosworth, native of Middlebury, Vermont, now living in beautiful Northfield, Minnesota.
You said Wes Sumner came in, right? He's currently 9th place with an 18:12.8. So
Cracking
Wesley
into the top
Sumner
10.
with a top 10 so far.
Here's Emmett Gray from the University of Wyoming. Favorite races are the Valentine's race in Leadville, Colorado. Interesting. And his favorite competition superstition is once again lacking a verb, seems to be a common problem, baking soda.
No, that's baking soda.
You're right, I'm sorry. There's more
4
A's than I was
there.
willing to pronounce.
Baking
That's right.
soda. Got you, don't worry.
From Cornell, 175 is going to be Gabriel Jerry, another environmental science major. Okay. His favorite USCSA memory is the snowstorm race at Mount Van Hovenberg during Freshman Nationals. Those of you who were there in 2022 may fondly recall the bomb cyclone in the middle of the team sprint. Of course, we had no snow that entire weekend until the middle of the bomb cyclone, and I believe then also when we needed to leave Lake Placid the next day. Not great timing. Looks like they've got a great base of snow here, so shouldn't be a problem. Out comes Griffin Smith, 176. He's got a nice controlled V2 there. Hometown is in Saranac Lake. Okay, so normally he'd be racing on home turf out on the East Coast, but here he is in new territory, and his favorite competition superstition is high knees.
High knees, got to do your high knees.
Yeah.
I was going to say the bomb cyclone because I have a funny story about this. Our timer, Bob Underwood, underdogtiming.com, doing a great job for us. But he was there with the bomb cyclone, and we put it up as weather conditions, the Bob cyclone.
The Bob cyclone.
We gave Bob credit for that cyclone all week long.
Well, Bob, the timing of the weather could have been a little bit better.
Yeah,
but I suppose
it
you
was
can't hold
perfect.
that against you.
It was perfect. It was the Bob cyclone. It hit. We had a great time.
178, I think, should be Kelly Martin from Colorado Mesa, hometown, Anchorage, Alaska. I think he is not the only Alaskan out here today, if I recall correctly. Amikam Magruder, racing for St. Olaf, is a Alaskan native. So long way from home, racing down here in the mainland. But we'll see how Kelly Martin does today. He is a business marketing major, and isn't that a breath of fresh air from all you environmental kids?
Yeah, lots of STEM on the Nordic side, I feel like, but good to see someone shaking it up. Bib 179 now in the gate. That's Matthew
Arndt.
What is it? Say it again.
I'm going to say Arndt.
Arndt.
I'm going to go with one syllable, Arndt.
We got a, sometimes the name pronunciations add a few different letters there, but I think Arndt sounds good. So University of Wyoming out for his run. And right behind him will be Bib 180 Matthew McDonald. So Matthews will race each other here towards the end of the starts for our men's 7.5K freestyle. I do have a little bit of an update on the top 5. There have been no changes so far, but we did see some changes into the top 10. So 8 is now Daniel Gladkoff, Bib 124. Wesley Sumner has moved down to 9th. And then Austin Quillinen has rounded out your top 10 with 10th place at an 18-18. So again, our top 10 finishes now somewhere between 17-26 and 18-18. So if you're just heading out for your run, you know what you have to do to get to that top 10. And Rudy Harold from St. Olaf College, Bib 181, will give it his best shot at cracking that top 10.
Rudy Harold's pre-race competition superstition, foot rub.
Does he give? Does he receive?
Impossible to tell. Once again, I'm telling you, gentlemen, subject and verb is going to go a long way. Subject and verb.
I'm starting to think these STEM majors might want to throw in an English class.
Yeah, no, and what do you know about that? He is a biology major. I suppose rub is a verb, but foot rub, I think that's just one noun. So, Rudy, whether you were giving or receiving, I hope you got your foot rub today. Here goes Sean Kramer from the University of Wyoming. Sean, busy bee. Geography, environmental science, environment and natural resources, triple major, so truly a student, a skier, and a scholar, which we do love to see. A senior from Evergreen, Colorado. Let's see how he does out there today. His competition superstition, he loves to stay in the... See, this is a full sentence. Sean, triple major, we can tell. I stay in my polar bear pajamas as long as possible before changing into my race suit. So, almost a compound sentence.
I can't wait to see him warming up one day in his polar bear pajamas and know that he's true to his word when he tells us his pregame ritual. In the gate now, looks like we have maybe a stop at the start slightly, but
got a guy.
Bib 184 was Theo Hughbanks, and he is not here to race today. So right after him will be Willie Cora from Western Colorado University. Oh, Silas Bartle?
No, you're right. Sorry, I don't know how this gentleman got
That's
in
okay,
there.
but I think...
Silas, you're not going next.
Nope.
Don't know where you are, but we hope you had a great race. Yep.
And then Willie will be our next racer at 185, so he is standing in the gate now.
Maybe Wiley.
Oh, is it Wiley? I apologize, Wiley, if I got your name wrong. I'm sorry. Wiley Cora. Does look like we have another finisher coming in. Couldn't catch the bib as fast as I wanted to.
That's 147, Tate Myers coming across the line.
See how Tate comes through and finishes here. Got a lot of finishers now to run through, but I will find it for you, I promise.
There he is. Looks like he's just within the top 20.
Yep, so Tate Myers with an 18:53, slotting himself into 17th, I believe.
Up next, we're going to have Owen Finlay from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. He's sporting the cow print hat. Very typical not only for the Wisconsin boys, but also, of course, you might recall Gus Schumacher, America's golden boy, loves to race in that cow print hat. Oh, no, that's a different Wisconsinite. That's Raleigh Page, who's got the cow print. Owen Finlay, no hat. He's enjoying the breeze through his hair. And his home mountain is the CXC Outdoor Center. That's a lot of man-made snow out there. Tends to get a little bit icy, which we know is what the course is like today, so that may leave him well prepared. In fact, I was talking to some of the Wisconsin boys, and they told me this is a course without a lot of V1. They said there's also not a lot of V1 in Madison, Wisconsin, so they feel they are well suited to it. And there goes Raleigh Page in the cow print hat. You really do love to see it. And his favorite pump-up song is Last Christmas by Wham. I wouldn't have pegged that as a pump-up song, but we'll see if it works for him. Coming into the finish, we've got 144 from Cornell. Not sure who that is, but good, strong boot throw across the line. That might be Jeff Hodgson. There he goes. He goes down as well. That's how you know they're giving it their all. Getting ready to come out of the gate is Leo Rotar from the University of Wisconsin. Hometown is Minocqua, and home mountain is Mount Crumpet, which is, I believe, the slope that the Grinch rode down from playing his trumpet.
Ah, well done there.
Yeah, thank you.
And you know, we have our last racer now will be in the gate. That's James Baker. Last but not least, James, no worries. You still get your same race, and we did have a few finishers come through, so from now on, we'll only be seeing laps and finishes. We'll give you a quick rundown here of the top 10 as soon as James makes his way onto the course, but he's a data science major. Wow, that was a mouthful for me. From CXC Outdoor Center again.
And another cow print headband, which we do love to see.
All right.
So now we have all of our men out on course. The sun is out. Looks like a warm day. We have this nice temperature-controlled booth. Bulldogs coming into the finish. Gophers coming through on the lap. Looks like it could be either St. Olaf or a Cowboy coming in behind bib 151 from University of Minnesota Duluth. Who's that? No, that's a U.S. Military Academy bib right there, bib 145. The beige color... Oh, no, that's some sort of Colorado bib. The beige coloring is always interesting. Looks like, flesh-toned race suit, I think, is always an interesting call.
You think that the race suits would be a little bit, different, but they all seem to blend together when they're moving this fast. Mm-hmm. I did see bib 148, though, come through for his finish as well.
From the University of Minnesota.
And I'll give you a quick update on our top 5 again, just for anyone curious. But Ivor Ever Scarseth, Colorado Mesa University, still in the top spot with a 17.26.5. I don't think that will be caught today. It doesn't seem like it, at least. Diego Lobatis from University of Wyoming right behind him, 17.51. Philip Matthews, from Paul Smith's College with a 17.55. Caleb Simonson, University of Wyoming, a 17.56. Then rounding out your top 5, Anders Heckley from Western Colorado University with a 17.58. And I can. Paavo Rova with an 8:36.2 on his lap time. So again, he's in contention for that top spot. He moving along with the same pace that a lot of those guys had coming in. We remember, I think, seeing Iver's top time was around 8:40, I believe I said to you, right? So Paavo Rova with a chance.
And this might be him coming into the finish now, actually. Bib 148.
158 is Paavo. Yeah,
that's
that is.
Paavo Rova. Let's
we'll
see if he can crack up in. Strong finish for Rova.
Yep, didn't go down at all. Let's find out. 158. I'm going to assume he's close to the top 10.
And he's second.
Yes, 17.46 for Paavo Rova. Puts him into second place overall. An amazing race for him. Closest to Ivor so far, 20 seconds behind, but still
20 seconds behind Scarseth. Holy moly, that was a great day for Ivor. Great race for Paavo, cracking up into second, especially starting a little bit later in the pack, back in 158. But yeah, looks like Scarseth untouchable in the 7.5K skate. Still skiers out on the course, so of course can't call it yet. But if I had to put money on somebody who was going to challenge Scarseth, it would have been Rova, and he's gotten himself second for the day.
You wouldn't have been wrong.
Small feat, but,
you wouldn't have been wrong. He was close, but they'll have to keep trying if they want to get into that top spot for the next race. I would like to remind everybody, now that our men have started, that our women will start at 11, and we will probably keep you right online for that. This is about 13 minutes away, I think. So again, women around 11 o'clock. We probably won't leave the broadcast. If we get a small break, we may take it, but we will be here with you live for the entire thing. About 63 female participants today. Yeah, of course. All right. Again, we have all of our starters for the men so far, so we're now just waiting on finishers and lap times. We're giving you as much coverage live as we can. If you're joining us on the webcam, we want to thank everybody here at USCSA National Championships 2025. Oregon, again, an amazing location. Mount Bachelor has just been beautiful. We got a chance to do out some alpine skiing on Sunday, and it was amazing. Probably one of my favorite days on snow of my life. Looks like we have bib 179 now coming through for his lap, and I saw another finisher come through. Looks like Colorado Mesa University speed suit. Can't quite see his bib number, but that's okay. We'll get some update on him. Again, your top 5 hasn't changed with Eber Scarseth, Paavo Rova, Diego Lobatis, Philip Matthews, and Caleb Simonson now. We did want to head out and grab some course info from a reliable source, someone that's been out there. So we are going to bring you some live updates from an athlete. We're going to hop him onto the headset and ask him some questions, ask him to tell us what he thinks and how it felt.
Yeah, here with us in the booth, we've got Henry Brandt representing the University of Minnesota Duluth. Henry, you're a freshman, is that right?
Yep.
And so this was your first USCSA National Championships race?
Sure was. It was a lot of fun.
All right, yeah, tell us about it. Tell us about your mindset going into the race. You'd done the course preview. What were you looking forward to, and what was making you a little bit nervous out there?
Well, I ended up getting hit a lot pretty hard by elevation. So first lap felt fantastic, and then the second lap, by the time it came to the long climb, I was just toast. And yeah, I don't know, the course is really fun. I was feeling pretty good going into this, but the elevation definitely kicked me in the butt.
And how's the course holding up? Some of those corners were getting a little dicey even during the warm-up. I'm curious to hear what the conditions were like snow-wise.
A few of the corners that I thought would be the big problem ended up being just fine, but then a few of the other ones, like the one coming into the stadium is pretty rough, and then a few of the others, they're holding up pretty fine, but there's a few of them very spotty.
All right, well, any advice for the women's race coming up? What are you telling the Bulldog women in the pen as they're getting ready to go?
Don't go out too hard at the first lap.
All right, don't go out too hard for the first lap. You heard it there first. Thank you so much for joining us, Henry. Great race out there today, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, so it seems like he's going a little bit against the conventional wisdom that you laid out, which was to go fast on run 1 and go faster on run 2. I still think that you may be correct about that, but I understand the idea of not, crushing yourself. You're a little amped up at a national championship. You got to find your rhythm and set your pace, whether that be fast, but you got to find that win first.
And of course, yes, it is, like we said, a little bit of a deceptive course in the sense that those first couple pitches are so snappy, they're so quick, it's very easy to get yourself too amped up in the first kilometer and then let that tempo drop into the second kilometer when you start to move into the meadow section. So, it'd be great if we could get Ivar Skarseth to bring some commentary on his race. Obviously, he had a heck of a day.
He's probably already home.
Yeah, exactly. Relaxing. He's already made his way home. Well, he's a big, tall, broad-shouldered guy, so I think we'd be able to see him if he were near the booth. But any of our top 3 skiers want to make their way down to the booth, we'd love to give you a quick interview. And those top 3 are, if you don't mind refreshing us briefly, Slider, I believe Ivar Skarseth in 1, Paavo Rova in 2, and Diego Labados in 3. Coming into the finish, we've got a range of skiers. We've got Cole Long, 163 from the University of Wisconsin, 159 from Air Force. That is, I guess we'll see in a moment, and 162 from Western Colorado, 165, all finishing together. Good boot throw at the end from 65. Lots of tired faces at the finish line. Thank goodness we have our hard-working volunteers. The skiers who have been at Nationals before know that big red coat from Donna Nilsson. They know where to find it. She's out there clipping in anklets. That's not an ankle bracelet. Ankle monitor. No, chips.
Ankle monitor. Sounds
yeah,
good,
ankle
though.
monitor. Yeah, no one here that I know of is on probation, but we know Donna Nilsson's out in there. We've got some of our local volunteers. We've got Ted. But, when those skiers come through, they see that big red jacket. They know that relief is only a few more skates away.
Yeah, and we only have a small number of racers still on the course here. We're looking at from the split times on the first time and then the started, maybe about 20 to 25 athletes still out there. I do feel like maybe some have not finished their race that may have started a little earlier. We had some bibs that didn't quite finish, I don't think. But
strong finish and a big fall from 166. Clearly gave it all on the course. You do love to see it. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah. 166 is Eli Lammers.
Well, there you go. Eli Lammers is already moving a little bit. The red coat's on him, pulling the skis off.
Colorado Mesa with a 2027. So a 2027.
There we go. Strong time. He certainly was giving it all into the finish. That's the nice thing about this, I don't know nice thing, but slightly deceptive uphill pitch into the finishing stretch. So there's no
relief for the racers.
There's no relief. It's not quite like finishing at Lake Placid where you have that whipping downhill and a lot of momentum to carry through. That final hairpin corner before the finish scrubs a lot of momentum, and that corner is deceptively sharp. You come into it, you think you've got plenty of space to hook out wide, and that is just not the case. So you've got to keep it in nice and tight through the corner. Looks like we had one of our Vermont skiers come through and go down hard. Boy, we got to start giving out points for hardest
falls.
flop at the finish. Yeah, that's how you know they're working.
That was bib 169, I believe, which was Fergus Kragenbreng. So
rolls off the tongue.
It does. Fergus, great run for you.
All right, and a momentary lull in the action. How many skiers do we have left on course, Slider? What are we thinking?
Well, we have 3 that haven't come through for their lap time, it looks like, and then about maybe
several.
15
Yeah.
or so that are still out there, have done their first lap and are going to be finishing their second lap soon. So we're closing in on the end, but again, we are going to start the women, I believe, right at 11, which gives us about 5 minutes. So we will be giving you fast and furious action, I believe, of women starting, men finishing, and it'll be one of those hectic we don't know who is who moments.
Yes.
But that'll be fun for everyone involved. Looks like we have bib 172 now coming into your screen for a finish. I'll give you an update on the name and time for him as soon as I find it.
And 173 as well from the is that St. Olaf? Yes, it is. Yep, that's St. Olaf College coming through. Bib 173.
Yeah, I got 172 is Torsten Brickley from Clarkson University. Go ahead and do the search for 173 for everybody as well. 173 was Trey Bosworth from St. Olaf College with a 1914, slotting in at 28th overall.
Now that'll put him in the top 30. Well done, Trey.
All right, again, we're just now getting into a little bit of a lull as we wait for our male finishers and then our female starters. We have about 63 women, I believe, slated to start today. So it'll be a quicker race than the men's for you because we just don't have as many starters. Again, 30-second intervals, though, so we're looking at a start time of right about 11 and a start, like the start time at about 11:30. And again, it's taken our male racers about 20 minutes or so to run the course, so we can expect our women will be similar to that.
Yeah, and it's worth noting as well, you mentioned the fact that we've got 63 women starting, just under 90 men starting. This is the largest USCSA Nordic field that we've ever seen, at least as far as we know. So wonderful that we've got well over 100, over 150 athletes, in fact, out here competing today. And some great variety from the regional representation. As you can see, just looking at the top 3, we've got skiers from all over the map who are showing up and representing their school, representing their region, and we know that'll be the case as well in the women's race. Just to give you a little bit of a preview, as with the men's overall field, there are only 5 returning top 10 women's skiers from last year's overall standings. 2 of them, Lily Hubanks and Ame Cam Magruder, finished in the top 3 last year. So it'll be very interesting to see how those 2 duel it out. I know they've been neck and neck all season in the Midwest. In fact, they crossed the line at the Dala 34K skate together. They shared the winner's wreath, which thankfully is quite large. They were able to fit 2 heads and 2 necks through it. But we know they'll be going back and forth. Some other names to keep an eye on, of course, is Isla Bodak Turner from Maine Farmington. Wells, can't remember quite where she's from, and Vauthier from Colorado, or not Colorado, but Wyoming, I believe. So those are our returning top 10 skiers. We'll see how they do in this 7.5 skate. We just had from Air Force, was that 174?
I believe I saw 168.
Yes, 168. Yep.
168 is Evan Meyer. Again, you said United States Air Force Academy, so congratulations on finishing his run. And I did see a 179 also come over the finish line there. I'll get you a number on that one. 179 is Matthew Art from University of Wyoming with a 1911, slotting into top 30 and 27th overall.
And 179 from Vermont.
From Wyoming. Sorry.
No, sorry. Yes, 79, I think, though. In green from Vermont just crossed the line as well. Yep.
177.
77. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Yep. No, it's hard when they lay on the ground. You lose the bib number and you can see half of it. But that was Jasper Henderson from University of Mont, as you said. So
yeah, that's right. If you folks, before you finish the race, I know you're working hard out there, but if you're going to collapse, if you could please turn towards the booth and just show us your bib, that would be really helpful. And then hit the ground as hard as you want, spend as much time as you want down there, but turn. Yep, I see Bib 6 in the starting gate is modeling it perfectly. Bib 6,
exactly what we need.
Could you do that again, Bib 6? Show us that. And then you hit the ground. Okay, so here's 171 from Cornell. We'll see if he's able to follow those instructions. Nope, he's turning in the wrong direction. Oh, all right. Yep, oh, there we go. All right, he sort of sat down facing us, and we can see 171. Great race, 171. As long as we're getting that frontage on the bib, that's perfect. We know who you are. Here's
Nate.
164.
I know 171 was Nate Heinzelman from Cornell University slotting in, and then you said 164. That's Crosby Harris from Colorado State University.
Well, Mr. Heinzelman and Mr. Harris, well done on, look at that, showing us the bib.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for, and you know, part of being a great athlete is being coachable, so we're glad that you boys are listening to instructions.
Oh, and we had our first female starter
And
go out.
look at her go. That's
Oh, my.
bib 1 from Cornell, Annika Schoen. Fast out of the gate. She's a native of Wayzata, Minnesota, and her major is landscape architecture. Fascinating. She says, always put on glitter because it makes you ski faster, and if that start were any indication, boy, oh boy, is she following her own advice. That was a lightning jump skate out of the gate. She's going to be followed by Aspen Hand from Northeastern University, a sophomore from Portland, Oregon, so no stranger to this terrain. Home mountain is Mount Hood, another volcano. Fascinating. And she also loves glitter. Glitter before the race and petting her dog. So glitter and dogs, common through line on a lot of these pre-race superstitions. 181 from St. Olaf College coming in.
It does look like the wind may be picking up just slightly. I saw a tent blow into the course for our finishers
Oh boy,
here.
oh that's
Oh,
exciting.
no.
Put the camera on that.
Yeah, we have it live broadcast of a tent being picked up, but the finishers didn't seem affected, so 182 I saw come through.
And bib 3 for the women, that's Audrey Urbanowitz, sister of Liam Urbanowitz, starting out representing the Bulldogs. First Midwest skier on the course. We do love to see it. And the tent has been retrieved from the finish area. Yeah, it does look like we might have some gusting coming up. So, you know, as long as the dirigible stays up, I don't care what blows onto the course. It's going to be a bad look for the volunteers, myself included, if the dirigible goes down. I was screwing in those tent pegs as tight as I could. But here's Bridget Roysch coming out of the start. Paul Smith's college. She's an environmental biology major. I do hate to say it, but typical. In bib 5 is Gabrielle Spira from McGill University. She's a native of Pittsford, New York, going to college in Canada. Thanks for coming back to the States to race with us here, Gabrielle. We're happy to have you. And her favorite song for warming up is Disturbia by Rihanna. So bum bum be dum bum be dum bum to you, Gabrielle.
I love
and
that
that's,
song.
that little bit, as long as you say it out loud, is public domain. So they won't be able to scrub us from YouTube. Free skate into the finish here. Very Jesse Diggins coded for bib 183, representing... No, I can never tell those Clarkson and Paul Smith's bibs apart.
I believe
he's
it's Clarkson.
Colorado. No, he's
Colorado.
Well, he's got a C on it.
Is that Clarkson University?
We got to do some coordination here. We'll see.
Clarkson
the results.
University, yeah,
Great.
I got it. I hate them
Good
so
call,
much. I
good
know
call.
they're big.
Oh my goodness, are you allowed to say that on
I
the
am.
broadcast?
It's a St. Lawrence rule. I have to.
Oh,
tell
that's
you.
right. Yeah,
it's
that's
not.
right.
It's not
Okay.
that I hate the people. I just hate the school.
Well, we just saw Isabel Serrano go out from UVM, and she's going to be followed by Jana Boonstra from the Colorado Mesa University. Another Alaskan coming down to ski in the lower 48. Her competition superstition, a good night's sleep and a bowl of oatmeal with a banana for breakfast. I have a bowl of oatmeal waiting in the car. I fear at this point it may have gotten a bit congealed.
I have some good news for you then, Luke.
Give it to
Mama
me, please.
Hog made you a sandwich for lunch today.
Oh, thank
And she
goodness.
packs us these lunches. She made you one yesterday. She'll make you one today. It's part of being on the crew. Mama Hog takes care of us. So shout out to Diana if she's paying attention at home, which she might be. Sometimes she tunes into our broadcasts. So
Well, I'm sure
big
it'll
love.
be the best sandwich I have yet this week. I really appreciate that, Diana. And you know, that's the great thing about doing the Nordic volunteering and the broadcast is you get the best of both worlds. So maybe I'm going to be chewing on 2 sandwiches, but we know which one will come out on top, Mama Hog. That was Kelsey McCrum from Farmington getting a strong start.
skiing for my old coaches, Buzz and Sal Bean from high school back when I was at high school, but back in 08, that's a long time ago. Don't do the math on that one.
And here in bib 9 is Liesl Cope Schaefer from St. Olaf College. I believe Liesl Cope Schaefer was the Midwest Women's Sprint Champion. At regionals, she had a great showing, so we're going to see if she can put down that power for 7.5K. Pump-up song is any Chaperone song. Well, unfortunately,
Pig
that is...
Pony Club.
Yeah, and that's not in the public domain.
Yeah, we
so,
won't be able
you're
to
gonna
play
have
it, but-
to imagine that one. She's going to be followed by Lydia Anderson from the University of Minnesota, Twin Cities. This is Lydia's 4th appearance at Nationals. She first raced with us as a freshman back in 2022. Oh my goodness, and her favorite USCSA memory, folks, I wouldn't lie to you, it's Luke Dykowski's race day mustache. Well, you can come see it for yourself here in the booth.
I gave you a star, yep.
I grow it out every year, and every year my mother hates me for it. But you know what, Lydia? As long as you like it, I'm happy as a clam. Coming out now from Western Colorado University is Maddie Rosenberger, another native of Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. You can see Ted Farrell, USCSA Nordic VP and coach from Chippewa Falls, clapping hard for his alumnus. Maddie was 9th in the 7.5K freestyle in 2024. We'll see if she can run it back under Kevin Geeson's coaching. Coming into the finish, we had a group of Wisconsin boys. Hopefully they had a good time out there racing with each other. Looks like we've got a ghost skier in the start now. That appears to be Marguerite Niskanen.
Yeah,
or excuse me,
12.
she goes by Margot Niskanen. Wonder if there's any relation to the great siblings from Finland, Ivo and Kerttu Niskanen. But we won't know because she's not here, so hopefully she'll make an appearance tomorrow. Uh-oh, her favorite race day superstition is forgetting her start time and bib number, so hopefully that is not what happened today.
I was actually handed some information earlier that she was not going to start. So
good.
I think she knew she was not going to start.
Well, way to break with tradition there.
Yeah.
And strong start here in bib 13 for Sierra Zoe Bennett Mankey. Representing the United States Military Academy, but a native of Steamboat Springs, Colorado. She likes to eat a honey stinger waffle every day before racing because it originated in her hometown. So what did you know about that? That Steamboat Springs, home of the honey stinger waffle. I guess we did a little bit of laughing and a little bit of learning today. Well, hopefully we've done some laughing. If not, we'll pencil that in for later. Starting hard, Skylar Francis from Clarkson University, one of Torrens' kids. We'll see if Slider has anything to say about that.
I won't say anything this time.
All right.
I've already said enough.
Oh.
I'm sure Boss will be canceling me shortly.
But a rare error for the women's field. We have a sentence without a subject and verb. Her favorite USCSA memory is pretzel balls.
She did put a period, though.
Yes. Which,
so punctuation is there.
Punctuation is good, so she's got a leg up on the boys in that regard.
I do have an update quickly on the boys, too. I believe we have one more boy finisher to come through. That's Wiley Cora. And then we will have concluded the men's race. So we have caught as many as we could at the finish, but we will have one more finisher, I believe. And then we will be exclusively on the women's race for you.
Well, wonderful. So Wiley Cora is from Western Colorado University, and we just saw Ada Chapman from Western Colorado University head out onto the course. Ada's going to be followed by Isla Bodak Turner.
Yeah, the UMF fan. Again, Buzz and Sal Bean, my coaches from high school. She's had great results. I know she was just out in Europe, I believe, racing at the university games. So we'll see if she can take some of that experience. Buzz and Sal were saying how wonderful the alpine skiing, which I know goes against our Nordic policy over here, but I did want to remind everybody that we have events in every category all week long for you. So currently watching some slope, or I believe there was a rail jam and then a border cross or skier cross, and also the alpine event going on as well. So if you're looking for some other skiing to check out, make sure you go check out those broadcasts as well.
And Bodak Turner, definitely a name to watch today. She was 8th last year in the 7.5K freestyle. I believe she was 6th overall. She's a fast skier. That women's field has thinned out with a lot of graduations. Check the split when she comes through on Bodak Turner because she is definitely in medal contention today. She was followed by Hadley Jensen from the University of Minnesota Twin Cities, another great skater. She was 7th last year in the 7.5K freestyle. Her favorite pump-up songs are Eye of the Tiger by Survivor and Gonna Fly Now, the Rocky theme song. So carrying on a favorite University of Minnesota tradition, which is watching most of the Rocky movies at Nationals. I gotta be honest, you've seen one, you've seen them all. I'd say stick to the one where he goes against that Soviet fella, and the rest you can take or leave. CSU went out next, Isabel Naskold, or Issa Naskold, and she'll be followed by Jackie Wells from Cornell University. Jackie Wells is one of those names that I would keep an eye on based on some strong results from earlier in the season. I think Jackie Wells certainly could be in top 10 contention. She'll be followed by Jessie Rose Church, who was 10th in the 7.5K freestyle in 2024. Yet another environmental science major. This is her senior year, so potentially her last dance at Nationals. If she was 10th last year, I'm sure she's hungry for great results this year. But of course, she says her favorite memory is finishing the hill sprint last year and the big group hugs at the top. And isn't that one of the special things about the USCSA? It's not only the racing, but the camaraderie. We can see some parents starting to pack the course, and we know that these finishers get a lot of love when they cross the line. So Jesse, in addition to potentially a great finish result, will certainly have that team spirit to look forward to. Now we're taking a look at Lily Ward from St. Olaf College. Native of Afton, Minnesota, Jesse Diggins' hometown. Certainly channeling that energy with the nice fast V2 and the ponytail bobbing up and down. Her favorite memory is USCSA regionals, which is great. So I guess we did a good job with that in the Midwest. And favorite pump-up song is apparently anything by Alice in Chains. So there you go.
We've had some wide variety of pump-up songs. And I got to say, like I said earlier, I like these new questions. Like I was getting a little bored of, favorite USCSA memory, who you want to take to dinner. We got a lot of Boss Hogs at Alpine that they want to take to dinner. But these new questions, they're quite fun. 22, Michaela Hetchler now from the University of Minnesota Duluth has entered the course. She has a superstition to go to sleep, and I don't know how that works.
Well, again, see, you're adding verbs because this just says sleep.
That's
so
true.
we got to be honest. We got to deliver the news as it comes. Read as written. Sleep.
Sleep.
Now that could be a verb.
Yeah.
But hard to say. It does make you wonder.
I know. I like to add to it. I like to give them the benefit of the doubt. I was a college student at once too, and I gave it a level of effort that it deserved.
Well,
and I would have also put one word.
We know how busy those college kids are, and they don't always have time to write out a full sentence.
Yeah.
So going out there, and I believe bib 23 was Reagan Jolly from Clarkson University.
Just to conclude the men's race, I am seeing bib 185 come through the finish line, so I want to say congrats to our final finisher from the men's race. That's Wiley Cora.
Well done, Wiley. There he goes.
He came through. So congratulations.
Ruthie Richardson starting out there from CMU. Another Alaskan. And she, too, appears to adhere to the maxim that glitter equals speed. So I'm sure we'll see a lot of glitter out there today. A little bit hard to tell whether or not we had it in the men's race. It could have just been their faces shining with excitement or slick with sweat. Always so hard to tell. But I can certainly see we've got a lot of glitter on cheeks here in the women's race, which is great. And that's Sadie Holmes from the University of Vermont.
And I want to give a quick update. You're going to see on your screen, and then live in person, we're getting our first lappers for the women. So right about at the 12-minute mark from when they left, somewhere in that range. So we will give you some split times as soon as I have them. Looks like it was bib 4 Bridget Roush from Paul Smith College with a 10:40 as our fastest split time, our only split time so far. But, we had bib 1 as well, Annika Schoen from Cornell come through with a 12:19. So somewhere around the 10-11-minute mark is now where we're seeing these girls come through for their first lap. So expecting times, just doubled at the 20 to 25-minute mark.
We've got the camera there on Samantha Wineland from Air Force Academy. She's got a unique favorite USCSA memory. I'll read it to you now. Getting tripped by a competitor before the finish line in Mammoth. Getting the wind knocked out of me, but choking because I was face first in the snow. Samantha, I'm not sure you understood the prompt that it was supposed to be your favorite USCSA memory. But if you enjoyed it that much, I'm sure there'll be a chance to run it back here at the finish line. We've seen a lot of skiers falling hard. Not a lot of powder, but it is a little bit choppy, so I'm sure there could be some snow choking. Hopefully, though, you have a great race, and we can keep that memory exactly a special, cherished part of the past and not the future. We just saw Samantha Vauthier, who was 5th in the 7.5K freestyle last year. She's had some great top 3 results in the Rocky Mountain Conference so far this year. So Samantha Vauthier, definitely a name to watch, challenging for the top 3, top 5. She's followed by, that is not true, Anna Sarasoletti, I do not believe we saw yet. I think she's going out now.
We have Ainsley Casper.
Ainsley
I don't believe
Casper.
I got a sheet for Ainsley Casper. So
yes, Ainsley Casper, well, she's a skier from the University of Minnesota Twin Cities. She spent some time in South Africa studying abroad just recently. I don't know how the skiing was down there, but she's the sister of a dear friend of mine, Ian Casper. Here we've got, I believe this is now Anna Sarasoletti from, and she did some great pronunciation guide here.
Yeah.
Anna Sarasoletti. Yeah, I got that.
Yeah,
All
you
right,
crushed
great.
it. You crushed
Thank
it.
Thank you. She likes to listen to 3 songs and visualize the race going well. Mind over matter, isn't that true?
Yep.
And she also has a pair of socks that she always wears.
Right. I can give you a small update on some of our lap times as well. We had Jana Boonstra from Colorado Mesa come through now in the second fastest lap, a 10:45. So we've got Bridget and Jana now racing for that top spot. Gabrielle Spira from McGill, 11:34. And then we just saw a new fastest split time with Liesel Kopp-Schaefer from St. Olaf with a 10:37. So some close racers there going for that top spot. Again, just the split time, but it does determine who is running fast on this course so far.
Yeah, Kopp-Schaefer, like I said, she had a great showing at Midwest Regionals. I believe she was the winner in the sprint. She was very close to a podium, maybe second or third in the 10K skate. So she certainly can be in contention today. In bib 32, do we know who that is? That's Claire Janis from Clarkson University. That's great. A chemical engineering major. Her home mountain is her backyard. So a homebrewed skier. You really do love to see it. And oh my goodness, her favorite USCSA memory is when Coach Torn LaLiberte saved her whole family from a burning building on skis. Claire, when you finish your race, when you finish your race, Claire, you're gonna have to come in and tell us about that.
Yeah, we'd love to hear more about that. I've never heard that story.
Yeah,
I've never seen anybody say that either.
Kind of puts the shoe on the wrong foot for you, trash-talking Torin, who apparently is a lifesaver.
Yeah,
slider.
I know. I promised Torin that I'm only trash-talking from his good friend Jeff Lathrop, our good friend together. It's an inside joke, I promise.
Well, here we've got Tora Trice, who is joining us all the way from Berlin. I don't know if that's Berlin, Maine, or Berlin, Germany, but it is wonderful to see her here. And we're going to have Maddie Rosenberger, who we know is a challenger for a top 10 finish, coming through the zone here. She's followed closely by Ainsley Casper, and this will be Kasia Bojek from Paul Smith's college. Look at that, strong jump skate into a V2 out of the start. You really do love to see it. Hometown is Alexandria, Minnesota, and she states that she has no home mountain because she lives in Minnesota. And isn't that the truth? This course could be well suited to her. Lots of grinding, lots of climbing. We do have an announcement, I'll hush.
No, it's all good. I wanted to make sure that everyone on the webcast knows that we are also broadcasting live at the event, so everything we're saying is getting said to the competitors as well. So I have an announcement for the competitors. The men's unofficial results are now live, and there is a 15-minute protest period. So they have gone live with the unofficial results, and there is a 15-minute protest period. If you do not file your protest in that 15 minutes, I believe the results go official, and that will be what we use for our award ceremony tonight. So again, men's results are an unofficially live 15-minute protest period.
And here she is now at the starting line, Lily Hubanks. She was first last year in the women's 7.5K freestyle. She is the 2025 American Birkebeiner Classic champion. Lily has had a phenomenal string of races with the USCSA. I believe she was the 2023 USCSA national champion. Dolce Tangwe was last year's national champion, so we know that Hubanks is looking to reclaim that top spot. She is an absolute machine. She is fast, she is strong, she has phenomenal cardio. We've seen her do extraordinarily well in some distance races so far this year in the Midwest. Going to be really interesting to see how she fares in the 7.5K freestyle, but we know it went well last year, so let's see what Hubanks can do. She was followed by Maisie Morley from Western Colorado University, and I believe now at the starting line is Modesty Mannion. We're going to go with Modesty Mannion. A business analytics major from St. Louis Park, Minnesota. She's familiar with Theo Worth trails, as many of our skiers here today are, and also a big fan of the Alley Loop 21K in Crested Butte, very popular race for those Rocky Mountain skiers. Behind her, bib 39, is Shayla Babbitts from the University of Wyoming. This is not her first time at USCSA National. She's toured once before, and she's really looking forward to team relays. Seems like her favorite event. Who doesn't love a team relay? Hopefully we'll get a, last year, unfortunately, we had super high wind, which kind of threw a wrench into the team relay. We will see hopefully we're able to do that this coming year. And here, sorry, go
She
ahead.
was a big glitter fan as well, it says. So.
Yes, another glitter fan. All right, we have Tova Brickley from UVM. Home mountain is Sugarloaf, and her competition superstition is to wake up and eat 1,000 eggs.
Tova probably doesn't know this, but we have 2 people in the booth that are also from that main area. I'm a Sugarloaf Mountain hometown guy, and I believe Wallace likes to say he goes to Sugarloaf quite often. So again, shout out to Sugarloaf, the Outdoor Center. Glad to have you with us, Tova.
And right behind Tove is Ame Cam Magruder, the Alaskan AK. She is another St. Olaf skier who has a tremendous array of hardware under her belt. Co-champion of the women's 34K Dollar skate in Mora, Minnesota. She was 3rd overall last year in the both individual standings and in the women's 7.5K freestyle. Chemistry major at St. Olaf. We know that it's going to be her and Lily racing neck and neck time-wise. That is my prediction. We know that's what they did for the Dala. We're going to see they probably won't be able to link up on course, so it's going to be keeping that internal metronome. Yeah. But Cam Magruder and Hugh Banks, I got to be honest, those are my picks for 1-2 today.
Okay,
I think it would be foolish to think otherwise.
I'll give you some updates. Lily Ward now from St. Olaf College has come through with a 10:10 for her split time, 27 seconds faster than our previous leader. And then I did see another top competitor, Ayla Bodak-Turner from UMF, finish with an 11:02 on the split. So if she's looking to move up a few spots, I believe she was in the 7th or 6th place last year, she's going to have to put a little bit more on the second run. But she may have listened to our competitor earlier who said, pace yourself on lap 1, really hammer down on lap 2. So we will see. But again, Lily Ward from St. Olaf College with a 10:10, 27 seconds ahead of our first, for our sprint split time.
We just saw Erwin McClish head out from Western Colorado University. Erwin unfortunately didn't fill in a lot of detail here, so if you know anything about her, feel free to let us know. We also saw Eleanor Grossman from the University of Minnesota Duluth heading out onto the course. Another big glitter fan, and her favorite day on snow is skiing with friends, which hopefully she'll get to do a bit out there, meet up with some of the Bulldog women in.
I was going to say, this is exactly what she wanted. This is a skiing with friends, just a little more competitive maybe than normal.
And right out of the gate, we also saw Eleanor Vauthier. I'm guessing the sister of Samantha Vauthier. I don't know how many Vauthiers are wandering around Laramie, Wyoming, not related to each other. Eleanor is a freshman, so following behind older sister Samantha, we'll see what kind of race she's able to put on course today. At Split, it does look like the top 2 spots have gone to St. Olaf. We've got Lily Ward and Liesl Cope-Schaefer. That's familiar to Midwest skiers, is St. Olaf as deep as it gets, the orange wall at the top of the podium. I know that that's what they're hoping to do today. We'll see if they can pull it off. So far, they're off to a strong start in that regard. We've got Emma Reinecke just headed out. Emma Reinecke is one of the USCSA student representatives. She's also the Nordic student coordinator in the Midwest. So as we mentioned, this is a volunteer league. We've got former skiers and, certainly in the case of the Midwest, current skiers who do a lot of the heavy lifting on race organizing and race scoring. So not only is Emma out there competing all year long, she is also one of the people without whom Midwest racing simply could not function. So hopefully she has a great day now that she doesn't have to worry about race setup for once and can just enjoy skiing. We also saw Rachel Tornianen, nice Finnish name. And Ruby Bryant heading out now in bib 47 from UVM. Hometown is Sleepy Hollow. I've already made a Headless Horseman joke, so we'll save that one for tomorrow. But her competition superstition is having a beer mosa in the hot tub. Ain't that the truth? That sounds like a great post-race
so we are
routine.
going to assume she's of age. I will say, you mentioned this, and I just wanted to bring it up because I think it's important, but St. Olaf College and Paul Smith College, top 2 competitors, but our team results matter. And I believe we had our first finisher for the women, which was Bridget Rausch from Paul Smith coming in with a 21:37. So our first female finisher now. But anyway, I wanted to know if you could shed some light on the team competition and how important that is to the athletes as well.
Yeah, so what I think is, of course, really exciting about the team competition is that it makes it bigger than yourself. You know, we've got 4 days of racing, and of course, you can't nail every day, you can't nail every discipline. And so if you happen to have an off day, you're still competing, you're still in it for your teammates, and I think it demonstrates a depth as well. Any school can get a skier who really goes out and just lights up a competition, but to put together a group of skiers who train together, who push each other throughout the season, and then who can push each other on the race course, and particularly when it comes down to the team sprint, not only push each other, but work together, I think that that demonstrates a depth of training and a depth of team spirit that is not reflected in a single standout result.
Yeah, our finisher there was Bib 7, Jana Boonstra from Colorado Mesa University. And I'll see which time she comes through with. Hold on 1 second. She is going to finish with a 21:38. Oh my goodness. In second place so far by 1 second. So we had Bridget take a 21:37 and Jana with a 21:38. So you can tell how close this is going to be here at the top already. 1 second of difference right now between our top two finishers. And it looks like Bib 5 will be right behind them. Bib 5 is Gabriella Spira.
And heading out from the start is Bib 51. That's Danny Schlichting from the University of Minnesota Duluth. Go Dogs. Followed by Molly Heinzelman from Cornell University. All right, boys, chips 123 and 125. We need men's bib 123 and 125. We need your chips. We know you love them. We know they're a fun accessory, but you can't take them home. Bib 123 and 125. You can come up and hand in your chip, or we will find you in the results, and we will call you out by name, and everyone will know that you inattentively ran away with your chip. So we'll give you a minute or two here, but we're going to need to see those chips.
Yeah.
And it looks like coming into the finish
We had a
in
shake-up
first
at the
place
top.
for right now. Yeah, it's Liesl Cope-Schaefer. Only 6 seconds ahead of Bridget Reusch in second, and just over 8 ahead of Janya Boonstra. But Liesl Cope-Schaefer putting the first brick in that orange wall. We'll see whether or not the Olis can do it. They are the, I believe, 3-time defending women's championship. So it will not just be a hat trick if the St. Olaf women walk away with the overall title this year. That will make it 4 in a row. Liesl Cope-Schaefer putting a great first effort for it. All right, we've fallen behind on our starters.
Okay, but we had another finisher come through. I'll give you that one. Annika Schoen from Cornell University, I believe, was bib number 1, and she has just finished her race as well. We are a little behind on our starters, but we need, chip 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 5, correct? So chip 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 5 still. So sorry for the confusion if you're joining us live on the webcast, but we are still announcing to the crowd. And bib 55, like you said, we got a little behind, but we have Katja Astrukas, I believe, has just gone out for the University of Vermont. We did see Ren Hybertson, Celia Earl Tonainen, and Molly Henselman, I believe. And I believe that catches us up to some degree with our starters. We do have a group of 63 this year, so McKenna Carell will be bib 56 that you're staring at now.
Sorry, here comes Lily Hughbanks on the split. That's going to be a time to watch. Let's see where she has registered her first lap. McKenna Carell from the University of Minnesota Duluth getting out to a quick start, but Hughbanks on the split is going to be very interesting.
So a whole 15 seconds ahead of what Lily Ward put down for her split time of 10:10. So 9:55.8 there.
And do we know Cope-Schaefer's split at lap?
I do not know Cope-Schaefer's because she has finished, unfortunately.
I'm guessing it was 10 and change. So
was,
Lily Hughbanks is just where she needs to be, leading on the first lap. We'll see if she can carry that through the second lap. Here comes Megan Flack, bib 57 from Cornell University. Here's an interesting one: Operations Research Engineering. What type of operations? I could not say. However, her favorite USCSA memory, and this is a big one, is Cornell's win at the Great Snowball Fight of 2025 Eastern Regionals. Sounds like perhaps skiers were not focused on skiing, but rather on other pursuits. Fascinating.
Another glitter fan as well. I'm starting to think that glitter may be the key to speed, or at least pregame superstition.
I'm willing to believe it. I'm also curious to see, we just saw Maddie Rosenberg, who we think is probably a contender for top 10, come into the finish. We know she's tired. She's spending a little time on the ground. Nothing wrong with that. And sure enough,
23:18 there for Maddie Rosenberger will slot her into 5th overall so far. So a little bit back, about a minute and 47 back of our current leader, Liesl Kopp-Schaefer from St. Olaf with a 21:30, but a good run. And then we just saw Bib 10 finish as well.
That's Lydia Anderson from the University of Minnesota Twin Cities, breathing hard after a great effort out there. Well done, Lydia.
Yeah. She will slot herself into 6th overall so far with a 24:27.4. Wrapping up our final few women starters so quickly here, but 61, 62, and 63 will be on your screen next. But a 60 is Elizabeth Wider.
St. Olaf College, grew up racing at Theodore Wirth Park. Favorite song is Bad Girls by MIA. I'm not familiar with that one, but
go check it out.
Yeah, you think a good up-tempo song?
I do. I think you'll like it.
All right, Louisa Lamar will be actually just left the gate representing St. Olaf College. She's a native of Bend, Oregon, and Mount Bachelor is her home course. So expect big things from Louisa Lamar. That's exciting to see. Wow, look at that boot throw from Bib 13 representing the Army College. And here going out, Ann Straka, freshman from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. I'm going to tell you what, Ann Straka is another name to watch in the top 5. She is fast, especially in these mid-distance races. She was the women's champion for the Midwest Regionals in the 10K freestyle. Fresh out of high school, again, she's a freshman, so she's used to this 5K to 10K distance, and boy, oh boy, does she have a fast turnover on the skate. She comes from a long line of Strakas racing in southern Wisconsin, and realistically, I should be honoring tradition by butchering the pronunciation of her name. I grew up racing with her brothers, and I know that for whatever reason, Straka just bedevils the man in the booth. So, Ann Strojka, good luck to you. She's followed by teammate Eleanor Bennett from the University of Wisconsin-Madison, a veteran here at Nationals. And after that will come Sylvia Meza, another one of the great skiers from Madison, Wisconsin. Hometown is Minocqua. And, that's also the hometown of Kevin Bolger, U.S. national team skier. Sylvia Meza, Bib 63 is our last women's skier out on course. Now, we saw Ame Cam Magruder come through on lap. What is her time? Because we know that she is one of those women who's challenging not only to win the day, but in my estimation, to win the overall.
So she came in at 10:04.7, about 9 seconds back, of Lily Hubanks' time. But we did have a shakeup as our top spot has been taken over by Lily Ward of St. Olaf College. So Lily Ward now in first place overall with a 21:15.7. We also saw Jessie Rose Church.
Yeah, if we could get the camera to pan to some of this carnage in the finish area. We've got 4 skiers on the ground. It looks, Cornell's going to stay upright, so it looks like it's going to stay at 4. Well done, Cornell. Way to keep your feet under. Yep, Bib 19. Thank you very much. But boy, oh boy, have these women been racing extraordinarily hard today. Great race from Lily Ward to put herself into the lead there by a 14-second margin. No small feat. You can tell she worked her butt off out there. And we've got some other skiers limping away from the finish who had some great finishes too. Hadley Jensen finishing in 6th. Boy, oh boy, is that awesome to see. She had some really, really strong results last year. I know that that this year she's been a major player for Minnesota. And it's great to see her notching another top 10. We'll see if she can hang on to it.
Yeah, we've seen some other finishers as well. Jackie Wells from Cornell, Ayla Bodak-Turner from UMF have slotted themselves in 7th and 8th respectively. Maddie Rosenberger, a person we talked about earlier, at 10th overall. So we're seeing that top 10 start to materialize. We just saw Bib 8 come in and finish. That was... I'll give you an update in 2 seconds when it comes live on my screen. But Bib 8 is Kelsey McCrum from UMF as well. So slotting in there of the 29:11. Again, we're still waiting to see some of our top split time racers. That was Lily Hubanks, who had a 9:55.8, and Amelie Cam Magruder, I hope I said that right, out of St. Olaf with a 10:04.7. So we are still kind of waiting, like you said, on those top 2, some of the people you've predicted to see in the top spots, and we will look forward to seeing how fast they can come in. But a finisher now on your screen. That looks like bib 18 to me.
From Colorado, I believe.
Yeah.
CSU Nordic.
Yes. What was it? Bib 18 will slot in there. That was Isabel Nashold from Colorado State University with a 24:57.2. And then I'm seeing bib 2 also finish.
And a big smile on the face of bib 18. Isn't that great? I hope she had a fun day out there.
Yeah, Aspen
Isabel
Hand
Nashold.
was our Northeastern University skier. A 33:12.7 for Aspen. Yeah, still kind of waiting on the top guns to see them come through, but we are excited to announce that the women have all started, so we're now just waiting for finish.
And the pile of bodies
Yes.
has moved from the finish area to somewhere near the finish area. I'm seeing some smiles, so
Yeah.
it looks like all is not lost. Maybe just cooling off a little bit.
It does
but
look like
is-
maybe it's a little warm out there
Yeah,
for them.
it-
I've
it
seen a lot
looked-
of, just the sports bra and the bib on.
Yep, bibs only. Looks like maybe getting a bit of a tan, but absolute carnage at the finish line. Oh, there's Northeastern going down to join them on the ground. So the pile is growing, not shrinking, as time goes on. If any of the women finishers who are sitting in the pile want to recover and tell us about the course, we'd love to put you on the mic and hear about how the conditions are, how your race was. But clearly you were working hard out there, so it's going to be important to hear what went down.
Yeah, I just saw bib. Oh, I'm sorry, 27 finished. I thought we had a shake-up on the top there, but bib 27 is Samantha Vauthier, who has put herself in 5th place overall with
What
a
did I tell you?
21:46.
Samantha Vauthier named a watch.
So,
well
yeah.
done, Samantha.
Yeah.
Proving me right. Thank you. This is about me today, not
Yeah.
about you skiers.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
about me being correct and you being fast.
Yeah, and is there any reason you would have some of these details about these skiers? Don't you have quite a connection to them as the student rep? Am I correct about that?
Well, no. So the Midwest kids, I'm the Nordic coordinator for the Midwest. So I have to know them because I'm
Yeah.
the guy from their emails.
Gotcha.
But
you type their emails in enough, you know.
Yes, I send them the emails, and that's who I am to them. But no, these kids from Rocky Mountain and Eastern Conference, I was just taking some time last night to look at the results and shoot from the hip. So I'm sure if this were closely audited, you'd know that there are about as many, if not more, misses than there are correct guesses. But
Well,
I love to see a correct guess pan
Here's
out.
what I won't do. I won't go back and call you out on any of the misses.
Yeah, no
at
no
any
need to
point this
cross-check.
week.
Thank you.
Yeah, I believe I saw a bib 25 come through. That was Sadie Holmes, I think, of the University of Vermont. And then I saw a bib 27 also. Oh, no, that was Samantha Vauthier. So I'm wrong. I think I saw bib 24, Ruthie Richardson from Colorado Mesa University come through and finish. So
Wonderful.
I hope I got those correct, but either way, Ruthie Richardson with a 24:23 puts her into 14th overall so far. Again, still waiting for some of those fast lap times from Lily Hubanks and from MLA Cam Magruder. So we will wait and see if they can throw down the gauntlet and get themselves into a top position. Oh yeah, and Jackie Wells had slotted herself into 8th overall with
All right.
from
All
Cornell,
right.
so with a 22:42, I believe.
I mean,
Again,
I
all-
remember saying that name
Yep,
at the start.
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
put that out there as
Yeah.
well. So nicely done, Jackie.
Yeah.
Like we said, we've got a couple bibs over here at the finish. If any of them want to come over and give a quick recap of the course, we really would love to hear it. Looks like most of them are catching up with their fellow skiers, which is great. But if they can't decide for themselves, we'll go out and we'll pull one in. We had Henry Brandt from University of Minnesota Duluth speaking earlier, and I think he very eloquently described the day. So don't be shy. We'll just stick the mic over by you, ask you a couple questions, and hear about it. Bib 30 representing, is that...
Annika Behi from University of Colorado at Boulder
all right.
with a top 10 so far at 22:52.8.
UC Boulder, and here coming into the finish,
Yeah,
it's
you
in
can see
orange,
her.
Lily Hubanks. Let's see if she can reclaim her 7.5 individual skate title. She's flying into the finish. Lunge across the line. It's going to take a moment to show up.
Oh, and she will do it, a 2019
Oh, my goodness.
for Lily Hubanks has her moved into the top spot almost a minute ahead of her fellow competitor, Lily Ward. So the teammates there, Lily's, St. Olaf College, going back 1-2 right now in the standings.
A 56-second margin for Hubanks. That is huge, and we've got Olaf three deep on the podium. It's Eubanks, Ward, and Cope Schaefer. The orange wall is shaping up quite nicely. We know that Ame Cam Magruder is going to be fighting like heck to put herself in that top three. My money is the only person who's got a chance of cracking the wall at this point is Ann Straka from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. That's my guess. Otherwise, we're going at least three deep on Olaf.
Yeah, it looks like we're getting another finisher here. That looked like bib 28, I believe. Yep, I got that confirmation on my screen.
Ainsley
So
Casper from Minnesota.
Yep, Twin Cities. Congratulations on that call. Didn't even look at the name. She will slot herself into 21st overall currently. Again, 63 women in our competition today for the 7.5K freestyle. We want to thank everyone for joining us while we have one moment here, but I do see bib 34 coming through. Go ahead and give you an update on the time there for bib 34. Got to be a good run for her. Kaisa Bosek from Paul Smith College, slotting herself into 10th overall. And I believe Luke's going to go grab another competitor so we can get a little quick interview of the course. But again, our top three, all from St. Olaf at this point. Lily Eubanks, Lily Ward, and Liesl Cope Schaefer. We are going to try to bring you a live commentary from one of the athletes. We'll see who Luke's able to grab. Looks like I see bib 29 now finishing on course. All right, that was Anna Sarah Saletti from Cornell University, bib 29 that finished 25:52. And we do have a competitor, so Luke, go ahead.
Yes, we've got to make sure to keep this quick so that she can cool down. But with us in the booth is Lily Eubanks, the current women's leader by almost a minute. Lily, how was it out there today?
It was really tough, but it was gorgeous.
What do you think was the toughest part of the course?
I can assure you you were moving. We checked your split and your final time, so I can assure you were moving.
Did you have a mindset going into the race?
Well, obviously it was like I was placing worse than people, but be a strong race. Feel good about it. So yeah.
All right, well, you certainly did ski a strong race. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll let you go be cool down, but congratulations. Great work out there.
Yeah, and while we were getting a chance, Lily, I can tell you this. Your teammate came in right behind you. So Cam McGruber, Olaf College with a 20:29.9, so 10 seconds behind, which means that you now have the top 4 spots currently as a team. So congratulations.
A great race from Cam Magruder. Yeah, just 10 seconds off Eubanks and Lily Ward following a ways behind. Thank you so much for joining us, Lily Eubanks. Ame, congratulations on a great race. And boy, oh boy, I don't know if she knows it, but Ann Straka has her work cut out for her. Here she comes on the lap. Perfect timing there. We'll see if Straka can crack that orange wall. She looked strong. She looked focused. But yeah, beautiful day of skiing, and you heard it from Lily Eubanks. A tough course. Those punchy climbs, those 2 little wall climbs where you have to go from a V2 into a V1, kind of throw you for a loop. It's working all day out there. No real rest other than that long downhill. So certainly we can understand why the athletes are collapsing into the finish line. Looks like we have quite a few of them on their feet now, but I have no doubt that the bodies will hit the floor again shortly.
Yeah, we've had all of our starters go, but we're waiting now. We're seeing some good split times. We had Mira Thompson out of St. Olaf and Annika Furum out of St. Olaf with decent split times as well, so we'll see how they place. But again, that was we're looking for some of those split times now, trying to see if some of that shake up in the top 5. I will give you the top 5 really quick. It's going to be a push of St. Olaf. We have Lily Eubanks, Ame Cam McGruber, Lily Ward, Liesl Cope Schaefer, and then our only non-St. Olaf in the top 4 is Bridget Rausch from Paul Smith's College, excuse me. Rounding out your top 10, Jana Boonstra from Colorado Mesa, Samantha Vauthier, Jessie Rose Church, Shayla Babbitts jumped in there, and then Tova Brickley from the University of Vermont round out your top 10 so far. Another finisher there was bib 35, I believe. That's Kira Wolf from the University of Minnesota Duluth. A mouthful for me on that one, apparently. Did you get some new information, or was it? All right.
Nothing pressing. No, nothing pressing.
Nothing pressing, but we do know now that there will be a jury meeting, which is good for us. We always like to have the information.
Yes, so just a heads up for the those of our coaches who are part of the jury. We're going to have a jury meeting right by the announcements booth after the race is over. I can refresh your memory on who are our jury delegates for today, but we will have a quick jury meeting here at the timing booth, so just head up to the top of the finishing pen. No need to make your way down there now, as we still have a bit of time and some racers still out on the course. But those jury members are David Smullen, Ted Farrell, Buzz Bean, Ben Elkhorn, and Christy Boggs will need to make their way to the top of the finishing pen after all women have finished for a brief jury meeting. We've got bib 38 from CMU coming into the finish.
Modesty Mannion from Colorado Mesa University, and I also wanted to shout out Regan Jolly, who was from Clarkson University, who we also saw finish for joining us on the broadcast. Again, now waiting for our final competitors. We've got some that have still out on their first lap, some that have lapped, and kind of waiting to see how those split times come out and where everybody finishes. But we had 63. While we have a break in the action, let me quickly say thank you again to everybody who helps pull this event off. The 7.5K Freestyle is today, but obviously we have a great week of Nordic for you and a great week of USCSA National Championships. So once again, thank you to Mount Bachelor for being such amazing hosts. I have to be honest, the Nordic booth is the best out of all of them. So I'm glad to be joined down here with you, Luke, and then obviously our switch operator, Kirk Wallace. Our two camera guys, we have Tanner and Dylan over here. First time cameras, but they are crushing it for us. I'm also seeing bib 44 now come through to the start, finish line. I mean,
finish for bib 44. Look at that composure coming through.
Yeah, let me get you an update. Bib 44. Let's see where she slotted herself into. That was Eleanor of OTA, so we believe the sister of Samantha of University of Wyoming, coming in at 22nd overall so far, a 24.04, but a really good finish for her.
Yeah, especially I believe as a freshman.
Yeah, first
top
year.
Top 20, top 30 at nationals, nothing to scoff at. What a wonderful race, and still, as you mentioned, Slider, 3 days of action ahead of us, and still some action on the course. Looks like another St. Olaf skier coming in. We will see if they can put themselves 5 deep. They've got 4 in a row right now. Let's see if bib 49 can be the 5th, but it's certainly not out of the question.
That's Annika Furman. She had a top time at the split. We'll see where she slots in.
We've also got University of Vermont, either Cornell or Western. Looks like Western coming in close together here at the finish. Bibs 42 and 47. Again, some nice, strong, quick tempo into the final pitch here. They're followed by, looks like Emma Reinecke from the University of Minnesota Twin Cities in maroon and gold.
Yeah, and I can tell you right now, bib 49 was Annika Furman, who finished 9th overall so far, unofficially, with the 22.26.1. So she cracks her way into the top 10, giving St. Olaf 5 skiers currently in the top 10. Again, we're still waiting on Mira Thompson from St. Olaf to show us if her split time was accurate and if she could come through and crack herself into the top 10 or top 5 as well.
You know, I am a little bit curious. Based on the tightness of the corners today and the pace of the course, it certainly seemed like some falls or some going wide on the corners and maybe having to get back on the trail were not out of the question. If there are any athletes who took a fall out there, we'd love to hear about it. So if you went wide in the corner or if things got a little bit choppy and you went down, let us know, because always interesting to see how these technical courses end up shaking out. But that's just part of racing. You got to be able to stay on your feet, not just when things are nice and flat, but also when things get dicey. Unfortunately, there is no prize for falling except for airtime, and you can say whatever you want within reason. I guess I should put some guardrails on that, or Boss Hog won't ask me to come back.
Does look like we have another competitor going out for their second lap. Or actually, I believe maybe they were supposed to finish, so bib 43 is doing a quick turnaround. That's always motivating.
Yep, that's always the tough part with these lap courses is, you get in your own head, you get exhausted, and it can be a little bit easy to forget where you're supposed to be going and just focus on the snow in front of you, but she recovered quite quickly. Hopefully not going to have too much of an impact on her finishing place. That's from the University of Minnesota Duluth.
Yeah, that's
bib 43.
Eleanor Grossman.
And roaring up behind her is that University of Wyoming there wearing a suit. Look at that turnover into the finish.
54.
That's bib 54.
Ren
Good
Hybertson.
gracious.
Yeah, so that was bib 54, like you said, and that's Ren Hybertson. So let's see how bib 54
did the whole race like that. She's going to have a great finishing position.
She did.
And she does.
She cracked herself into the top 10 there for bib 54 with a 22:22.1. Great race there for Ren.
And 4 seconds ahead of 10th place Ren Hybertson. So that effort that she put down on that finishing stretch clearly paid off. It looks like we're getting some quite close times throughout the women's top 10 here after the front two. 2 seconds apart, 6 seconds apart, 4 seconds apart. So even in a short race, well, especially in a short race like this, every foot matters, every meter matters. And those skiers who are able to put the extra bit of power down into the finishing lap are clearly the ones that are showing the best results today.
It's funny that you call this a short course. I mean, I think a lot of people out there would consider 7.5K quite long, but for our Nordic competitors, this is nothing. They could do this multiple times a day, I'm sure. Maybe not at race pace, but easily going over that 7.5K number. Bib 50 now coming through on your screen. That's McKenna Carell from University of Minnesota Duluth. She will slot herself in there. I'm actually not sure yet.
And bib 52 as well from Cornell University, making her way to the finish line.
Yep, that was Molly Heinzelman from Cornell, like you said, at 24:37.9.
And it looks like we could have.
Yeah, that's bib 58. That is, that's Mira
here.
Thompson. So Mira Thompson with a 10:37 at the split. Let's see what she can finish with.
Great split, yeah.
I'm going to scroll to the top. I believe that's where we're going to see her. Yeah, she slots herself in at 9th overall, a 22:04. So she will bump Ren down to 10th, but Mira Thompson now with a top 10 finish.
Some Vermont skiers coming in, bib maybe 53 it looks like, and 32 from Clarkson. Representing the Northeast. Oh, and a big hug there at the finish line for Myra. Well done, Myra, on a great race. Cracking into the top 10. Another quick finish here. Moving to the outside to execute a pass. We've got bib 48, I believe, from CU. Oh, keeps it upright. Little bit of a bobble into the finish for bib 59 from St. Olaf, but she sticks the landing and doesn't go down. Well done. And here, coming into the finish, this is going to be interesting to see from University of Wisconsin-Madison. That's Ann Straka. She's got a great tempo. She looks strong. She looks composed. Bib 61. Bib 61 coming into the finish. We'll see what her finishing time is, whether or not she's able to disrupt that Oli sweep of the podium, but she certainly looks calm and composed coming to the finish line. The first finisher for the Badgers, and she'll take 7th on the day. Very well, Ann. A great showing for her first performance at USCSA Nationals.
Yeah, and it's interesting. We actually didn't get a lap time for Ann, so it was tough to tell like where she was out there on the course, but she did finish in 7th, like you said, at 21:38. So a great race there for Ann, and I believe you mispronounced it for a reason, but Stroka?
Well, Straka is the correct pronunciation. I think she spent enough time having her name butchered that
you should get it right.
Pronounce it. I should get it right. But,
I actually can't think of how Straka would be difficult. It looks quite simple to me, but
you should hang out with the older men in southern Wisconsin. They can think of an infinite variety of ways to pronounce a 5-letter word, Straka.
Well, we're here for you, Ann, so we will get you all week, I promise.
That does mean, though, that I think that no one's I don't think anyone's cracking the podium for the Olis. It looks like they're going to go 4 deep. Can't quite make it 5, but hey, 3 in a row is pretty darn good for St. Olaf. That's impressive. They'll be taking home all the hardware today. That's of course not to say anything of our other racers still on course, but I think the challengers for the top 3 have come and gone. So congratulations to St. Olaf on a superb showing. But of course, still some racers on course, still some results to get, maybe some team hardware to take home. let's see what they can do. We've got 1 or 2 Badgers out there yet. And looks like a good spread. We've got Cornell University, 2 Vermonts, and University of Minnesota Duluth. So 5 skiers still on course.
Yeah, 5 that we got splits for, 7 that started, so we'll see how that pans out. Again, we didn't have a split time for Ann Straka either, so doesn't mean that everybody hasn't come through for their first lap. Just kind of waiting it out now for the last 7. But we did say some thank yous earlier, but I can't say thank yous enough to everybody that's joined us. So again, thank you for being here and supporting the athletes. If you're here in person or joining us on the live feed, we appreciate you spending all this time with us. After we finish here today, be sure to go check out some of our other offerings, either at the Alpine event or with the Freestyle kids. I think they have another rail jam this afternoon, which is always a fun watch.
And it really is some great variety compared to Nordic. We had the chance last year to spend some time on hill on the break day of Nordic racing, and boy, oh boy, was it fun to watch those college kids do the downhill skiing. You may have seen it in the background during some of our races earlier, but they really are just across the parking lot from us. In addition, if you joined us today and you'd like to see even more racing tomorrow, make sure to tune in at 10 a.m. or rather 9:50 a.m. Pacific time. Today was the individual start, truly skier against self and skier against nature. I have my own thoughts on that, but if you want my 2 cents, true racing is when you're out there with other people and you've got to fight only not the clock, but the course and the pack, and we will have no shortage of that tomorrow with the sprint races. So do make sure to tune in and watch some head-to-head on the shortest and fastest course of the championships.
I love the sprints. I think they are so entertaining. We did the one we were able to do at Mammoth Mountain when I was on Nordic that year. One of my favorite broadcasts ever. I was alone in the booth. I would lose my cameras every second because of the wind and the snow. But to see my old friend Andrew Siegel take home the win that day was really fun. And those are just entertaining. They never get old. So please join us tomorrow for the sprint, like we were saying.
Absolutely. But we do still have some finishers coming in. Bib 62 and 63. That's Eleanor Bennett and Sylvia Meza representing the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Great showing for the Badgers today. And still a beautiful sunny day as well. You know, I think that it looked earlier like some clouds might blow in. We had that one stray gust of wind that took out a tent.
Yes.
Thankfully, the dirigible is up, and as I mentioned, that's really all I care about. The rest of it can go to pot. And as long as we don't have inflatables collapsing on our skiers, we'll call it a dub.
Yeah, and the males that got hindered by the tent, they didn't seem to mind. They just skied around it. They're good enough to know, you know, I just move away from the tent.
Exactly, and that's racing. A little bit of bob and weave. We've got 57 coming into the finish from Cornell. I think she got a lot across the line just before taking the fall there, which is wonderful. Well done, giving it all in the last couple feet. And another big finish for Duluth as well. I believe that's bid either 56 or 66. Straight out the back.
56,
of the 10,
I think.
56 from the University of Minnesota Duluth.
I'll tell you,
very well done.
Megan Flack was bib 57, and McKenna Carroll was bib 56. So, and congratulations to both of those racers. Seems like we may only have a few girls left on the course, looking at maybe about 2, if my timing is correct. So winding down here, like I said. But again, thank you to everyone who stayed and kept supporting the athletes. Looking about 2 athletes remaining. That'd be bib number 6, Isabel Serrano, hasn't officially finished. And bib 15, Ada Chapman, hasn't finished as far as my timing service knows. Those bibs went out a little earlier, so we may have seen our final competitors here if they didn't finish their course. We'll wait to get some confirmation on that. Again, want to say thank you one more time as we look for our final few racers. Here's some beautiful shots now coming on the webcam of Mount Bachelor here in Oregon. You can see they're slipping, it looks like, for maybe second run of the Alpine event, so plenty to check out over there. Again, great work from our camera guy, Tanner, over there, getting some shots of the mountain. He's we call him a local. He doesn't like to think of himself as a local because he only has been here for 5 years, and apparently in Oregon, that's a very low amount of time, but I think it's a lot. He's been helpful for us. But again, seeing the Alpine venue now on our screen, and again, the skier cross and snowboard cross venue, and then the rail jam setup are just around the corner there. So again, go check those out. Same broadcast website, just scroll over and pick one of those. You can go listen to Boss Hog and Elin Olive, or the Beeve, Mark Oliver, and our favorite A. Shova, giving you all the calls all day. They are excellent announcers. That's where I learned everything, was from Boss Hog, and I know a lot of you have appreciation for him as he does all the awards, and he will see every Nordic there tonight to hand out the hardware. So make sure you check that out, as we will broadcast the awards live as well from in-town Bend, Oregon.
Yep, beautiful Bend is where we'll be giving those out. Let's make sure in the meantime that if you've got a ankle monitor, if you've still got your timing chip, please get that to the finish line. I hope that in the men's race, 123 and 125 took care of that promptly so that we don't have to name and shame.
The
like
public shaming is always effective, though.
It is always effective, and it looks like now that we're having a handstand competition. So, not sure if there's any public shame involved there. If anything, I think it's a talent. Show what you're capable of. But clearly a nice big crowd still here at the finish line, waiting for those last racers to come in, reflecting on the events of the day. Looks like a lot of the Midwesterners, Minnesota.
Did you say
Duluth over
you said
there
there was a handstand competition?
Well,
I missed that.
I don't know if it's a handstand competition or just that guy going up on his hands. It's hard to say if it's a competition.
I challenge him to do it on his skis. So the next challenge is to do it on your skis. I can do it. I promise you I can do it.
He seems like
I'll
he's
come out there and
ignoring
prove it if you want.
I think you got to get his attention. I think he's blocked you out. He's over there talking to him.
We'll have our competition at the end of the week. You know, I don't want him to get hurt, trying to keep up with me.
Yeah.
So. But he's got a lot of racing left to do. I'm 30. I don't have anything left, so.
We've got a gentleman outside the booth waggling his finger at me, so let's see what that's all about.
Looks like he's headed out, but again, maybe waiting on a final couple competitors. We're still, again, unofficial times here, but seems like we may have a racer or two left on course. We're going to wait for them, obviously, and then finish our broadcast. While we have a moment, let me give a quick shout out to our sponsors again, if we can run through those. Yeah, looks like we have some coaches there, but we want to say thank you to our sponsors of the event, obviously. Toco for being our first sponsor today, so thank you, Toco. We have Black Strap, my favorite face guard for when I go skiing. The Icon Pass, got to pick up your Icon Pass if you want to ski every location. And Hydro Flask, also the sponsor of the U.S. Snowboard team. We want to thank Mount Bachelor as well. Again, hosting us with this beautiful location, the sun, the snow, they've all been incredible. Looks like maybe a little wind is picked up today, but that's nothing we can't handle here at the Nordic venue. We thrive off being in the trees. So again, thank you to everyone who's out here. Once again, thank you to my crew. I've got Kirk Wallace here on the switchboard. I had Luke Dykowski with me in the booth. He's just running out to check on some racers. My camera guys, I have Dylan and Tanner, who have held it down all day. Their first day on the cameras, really, and I think they got a lot of good shots. I can only imagine they're going to get better. So thank you to those both. Lots of volunteers and coaches now starting to make their way off the course, so we assume that we are closing in on our finish here for the women's 7.5K freestyle. A wonderful event. It looks like maybe we're having our judges meeting here as well. And we'll just hang out with you, but we want to say thank you again. We will take a small break here as we just keep our shots going and wait for our final competitors. Again, just waiting now for our final competitors. Luke, while we have a moment, what'd you think of today?
I thought today was fast. I thought today was exciting. I usually don't care too much for individual start races. I think I already expressed that. But yeah, the speed that these athletes were able to put down, and the fact that the course is so technical in the start and requires such a consistent effort, I think made for some really, really gritty racing. And you could tell that from the finish line when we just had piles of skiers. I mean, they practically needed to be shoveled out of the way. And, that really reflects how challenging the course was, how hard these athletes were working. It was great to see some familiar names in the top 10 standings, but also really exciting to see some newcomers.
Yeah, I think so too. It seems like we have a small tech issue I'm going to go fix.
Well, as you can see, Slider does it all. Doing the race coverage, running out there to fix the equipment. Wind picking up ever so slightly. So hopefully we'll be able to bring everything down in time. Looks like the jury meeting is convening here at the head of the finish area. One of the days.
Yeah, sorry, I saw one of our towers fell over. That equipment is expensive. Wanted to make sure it got back up on the snow. Didn't look like we lost our video coverage though, so good to know that thing can run in the snow. But yeah, we are working here, trying to keep you guys updated if you're joining us on the webcam. Again, waiting for a final few racers, although it does appear like we are starting to pick up some of our equipment.
And we can see the team flags are flying down in the waxing zone, down in the warm-up area. It will be interesting to see what today's team standings are, especially in the men. In the women's, I'm going to take a guess as to which team has won the day, but in terms of second and third, it could be anybody's race still. And it looks like we're getting the official signal that the final racers have left the course.
Yeah, so I think that'll conclude today, but you were right, St. Olaf College putting down an absolutely epic day. I mean, the top four there, and then rounding it out there with 10, 11, 12, I believe, or 9, 10, 11, however that stacks up in the end with the official results. But just an incredible day for St. Olaf team as a team, and then obviously we got to interview Lily Hubanks and talk to her. Great day for her out there and all the competitors as well. Luke, I want to say thank you so much for joining me. You've been such a blessing. I've never had really a Nordic commentator with so much knowledge join me here. So thank you, and again, thank you to all the volunteers. And you were out here way earlier than we were, but we appreciate everything you do for the sport.
Well, I've never been called a blessing before, so I appreciate that, Slider. I'm glad to be here, and we'll be back tomorrow bright and early with the Nilsons, the Therrells, and all our local Nordic volunteers setting up the dirigible, drilling holes in snow, because there's nothing we like more than doing that. And it was great to join you boys in the booth today. I think tomorrow we're going to have our work cut out for us with the sprints. We'll see how they lay it down out there.
Yep, awesome. Well, thank you, Luke, and we will close out the broadcast. Thanks for everybody for joining us once again. Thank you to my camera team and my switchboard operator. We will see everyone tomorrow, as Luke just said, and that will wrap up our 2025 National Championships here for the 7.5K Freestyle. Men and women going to be on the same video for you guys, so make sure you check it out on YouTube this year. YouTube is our new sponsor. And again, thank you guys so much. We will see everyone tomorrow.